Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to the Recruiter Podcast. In studio in beautiful Bensalem, Pennsylvania, this morning at All Systems Go AV, we have the famous and infamous. What would you rather go with?
I thought you were talking about
No, he's fabulous. We call him, I call him fabulous. We have the infamous and famous Coby Frier with us. Let's get fired up and have him.
Yeah, love it,
Woo!
love it, love it, love
Yes.
it.
Hey, dude, thanks for doing this, man.
No, thank you. Like you said, yeah, I was a little apprehensive at first, and just because we
You
don't
should
do
be.
we don't do
Why?
stuff like this, but you guys actually aren't self-serving. I was talking to Craig about it before you were late, Ernie.
That's not late.
Before you were late.
right.
Craig,
What time did this show start? Now I'm here. I'm here.
If you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
Right.
Yeah, well, guess
Vince
what?
Lombardi.
Exactly.
Okay, and
So-
then-
That's how old you are, Vince
And then if the
Lombardi.
other work that needed to get done didn't get done, then
Right.
what? Right.
Right.
So
Well,
I'll deal
yeah,
with it.
that'd be a problem, dude.
I'll deal with your annoyance.
So again, I know it's the Recruiter Podcast, and we're always looking for new talent, good talent. So
Yeah.
a little self-serving for me. I thought maybe somebody would see and say, "Hey, Matt Blatt's a dealership I
Yep.
want to work at." So that was one of the reasons. I
they're,
came, obviously to catch up with you guys, but
Yeah, Matt Blatt is great. They happen to be a client of ours from time to time. We haven't been there in a while. EHT. When was the last time we were in
this year, I
EHT?
think we were there up in Tom's River.
Tom's River.
I want to go. Do you set up? This is this is the way this thing happens. But do you personally set up when Mike Gill and or it's not necessarily Mike Gill, but Pete Thompson or whoever shows up at EHT at the EHT kiosk store when they do the live remotes from there, or do they do live
we don't
remotes
do
from
live
there?
remotes.
I thought they say the Matt Blatt Kiosk Studios.
Yeah, that's what it's just branded that. For the
Oh,
commercials
I
we
thought
buy.
they were literally there.
No, they just basically NASCAR everything. They'll put their name on. You can put your name on anything.
Oh,
with
no
those guys.
kidding! Shit, I thought because I've been trying to get Mike Gill on the show.
Okay.
And he wants to be on the show. He says, Craig, I don't know where I'm going to get the time.
Yeah, that should probably get you like 5 listeners. That's awesome.
Not a Mike
Hacking on
Gill. Sorry, Mike Gill. I like you.
just kidding.
Well,
I'm a Pete Thompson guy.
Pete Thompson is great.
Pete's
I
awesome.
like him.
Pete's a real guy. He is Henry. What's the guy from Family Guy?
Yeah.
That's Pete Thompson. Last time Pete was in the dealership, I'll embarrass him. Like he stopped by with Mike Gill to pick up his demo, and we were just hanging out. And Pete's like, "Hey, I just took a big dump in your bathroom."
Awesome.
He's just a real guy.
Yeah, now, the two guys they have on in the afternoon, those guys are pretty good. They're like, I forget their names, which is really stupid, but
By the way, shouldn't we just start the show? Like,
oh, yeah, we should start it probably, huh? All right, so, yeah, we should start it because this stuff's not for free. So, but here, Coby, let's start here. So, in the automobile industry, in any industry, forming a relationship with people that hopefully become clients, they could become friends, I guess, but forming relationships is a no-brainer in short-term, long-term success, generational success. It just is. I mean, it's always been that way since Henry Ford sent his first salesman out to a farmhouse and sit down across from a farmer to trade chickens for a Model T. It's been about forming a relationship. So my question to you is, there are what am I talking about? There's a couple guys, Allie Rita, who's promised to be on the show at some point. Allie, I'm holding you to that too. And gosh, why do I keep...
Maybe not now after Hollywood. He was on to Tell the Truth last night.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
And Frank Cronetti. I mean, these guys are selling 100 cars a month. And I think an uneducated observer could look at them and say, oh, well, it's because of their social media presence. Their social media presence has made them famous with vendors maybe and with other car executives and other car salesmen, but not with the public. In my opinion, and from what I've read and researched these guys, what makes these guys able to sell 100 cars a month, 100 cars a flipping month.
after month after month.
Yeah, it's not like one. Like
Right.
I sold 57 cars one month that I never I don't think I ever hit over 40 again. It was always 30 to 35. But, 57, I was like, I took 2 days off the beginning of the next month. I was like,
Wiped out.
yeah. I was drinking back then, though, too, so that probably had something to do with it.
Speaking of drinking,
Right,
The
yeah.
show brought to you by Michter's.
Right. The cameras can the cameras get all this bourbon that's laying out here? We got bourbon, we got cigars. So Coby was saying we're going to have bourbon and cigars on the show. Well, we can't smoke in the studio.
Which I'm offended by.
We could drink. I couldn't drink. I haven't had a drink in 26 years. You give me one, there'd be a SWAT team here in 15 minutes. But you guys could drink if you wanted to.
No,
We have ice and glasses.
little-
Yes, we have ice and glasses.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll wait
We'd have
till
to get you
afternoon.
drivers because I wouldn't let you guys drive home. 'Cause, 9 DUIs taught me how to do that. So anyway, back to the question. My question to you is this: that these guys, well, first a statement, then a question. These guys, Cornetti, Rita, they're not. They probably are selling some cars on through social media, but their real social media is press and flesh, kissing babies. They're really, literally involved in their communities on a social basis. Charities, events, softball games. They just don't write a check and then, hey, great, my name's on the back of your uniform. They're involved. Now, in researching you, one of the big things that I see that just jumps off all your pages is that you're literally involved in your communities that your dealerships, the Matt Blatt group of dealerships are located in. So my question to you would be this, and give you a couple minutes to think about your answer because we got to do a couple live reads for the people that pay for the show, pay for a portion of the show.
Yes.
Because a millionaire producer Adam over there charges
Banging
us
us.
way too much for the studio space and time. So we're due a discount, though. We're going to get a
Is that
discount
what
soon.
he said that too?
No, he didn't say that. I'm saying that. So,
Said like,
Let's bring him in and negotiate.
right, yeah.
Show him how it's done.
There's a mic.
So, I guess I don't know what the hell my question is. I guess what I'd like is your opinion on how you intertwine those. What your mindset is when you're sitting there and say, okay, I got to post something, and I know you don't operate like that. Like, oh shit, I got to post something. But when you line out what you're going to do for your month or however you do it, how much of that do you is front of mind? Hey, I need to get into the communities. I need to be at this spot. Where the heck were you on Facebook the other day? It was kind of cool. It looked like a carnival or
Yeah, you were at the
fair or something.
Seaside Heights
Yeah.
Country Music Barbecue Fest.
Right. Stuff like that. So
the sunrise, right? Was that a sunrise photo? It looked like. I don't know.
No.
no. So
Oh, the sunrise was probably in Miami. The Brazil-Colombia soccer game, which had nothing to do with the car business.
is that your wife? Is your wife Colombian or girlfriend?
Girlfriend's Colombian. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at her. I'm going, first of all, you must have really lied to her about something.
I'm a salesman. I'm a closer.
Dude,
Ernie will tell
hey,
you.
He's always had.
Dude,
nice
that's
women.
not salesmanship. That's flat out lying. You lied about one of a couple things. She's like, that's like,
Yeah, she's a beautiful girl.
that's
Nice.
way out of your league, dude.
Thanks. Thanks for the vote of confidence here. Woo! This show's going downhill
Yeah.
quick.
Glad
We just
you're-
open up Pandora's box.
Oh man.
So think about that while Ernie's doing these reads, and then we'll get back to it. Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool,
All right.
Mr. Kasperowitz.
So let's see. We can talk about conferences.
Let's do that.
And the year's winding down, obviously, and by now you should have gone to a couple to gain some extra knowledge. At the same time, the third quarter of this year isn't finished, and the fourth quarter is upon us. So there's a lot of noise surrounding what conferences to go to and so forth like that. Dealers and the hottest new companies have been gravitating toward what's called the Rockstar events. These are a little bit different in their structure. They're one-day quick hitters where you can come in, get out. The next one is in October 7th in Seattle. Matt Koenig and his crew set it up. There's a lot of unique things. One of the things, too, the ticket pricing, it's $99 to attend for the day. that $99 is actually a charitable contribution. You can write it off on your taxes. They give all of that $99 directly to a local charity. So part of the conference is to give back, not just the education that they provide to people, but to people in that local community. It's unbelievable. It's different information, different speakers than you probably got at most of the other conferences. We as a company are a sponsor of this particular conference, not just this one, but the Conference of Rock Stars. That's by choice. We've selected this one. This is the one we back up. And Craig has been to a couple of them through the years, and he's this year he's been to one, I think, with Joe.
Yeah.
They're just unbelievably good information. So
Yeah.
rockstarinfo.com is what you want to look at.
Yeah, they're one day in and outs. Speakers are awesome. It's different. It's just a different vibe. It's a whole different thing. It's like really, it's past car business 101. It's you come out of there a little different person, I think, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. So it's the information of how to do your job. It's
Right.
a lot of social media, SEO, and then there's BDC training. I know that.
Yeah.
So you're going to gain the knowledge, but like Craig's saying, they're also, I don't know, trying to help the world a little. I guess that's what I'm going to say, one person at a time, kind of like our mission. And
Right.
Coby, I think you might be friends with Matt or know Matt. Do you know Matt?
Just through Facebook.
Okay.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
awesome guy.
Yeah.
You'd love him. He's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, when one of those things are closer, you should probably try to take some of your team there. I think. Well, after the first year, they're back in Vegas. But,
spring of 2020 is Vegas,
yeah,
but not.
But it's a tour. They go all over the country, and they're one-day deals. So when they're local,
Yeah, none of them come to this area.
Well, they
Yeah.
were Detroit, and then weren't
Detroit.
they weren't in New York or Philly or Atlantic City.
Philly.
No,
New York
they'll be.
market?
He'll do Philly next year.
Yeah.
He will definitely do Philly or AC. I'll try to talk.
Yeah,
him in
Nashville he
Atlantic
was
City.
at,
He was in Nashville.
but that's not
Right.
It's not local.
close. No.
Who? Let's talk about our friends at Coby next.
Okay.
Talk about Coby.
Cool enough. Not Kobe, but Coby.
Coby.
Named after me.
That's right. It was.
Jason. Tell
Let's
him.
see. What should we name this kid? To Coby.
Yeah, there you go. So, they have a very interesting premise, and this makes a ton of sense. If you advertise, you spend the money on trying to attract individuals to come to your dealership to purchase an automobile. But how do you know what's going on? You basically spend the money and hope. Well, what's different with Coby is by using Facebook lead generation ads and Coby software, you're able to interact with a customer at the moment they're looking at your ad. Right then and there, you can interact with them, engaging them throughout the car buying process. So with Coby, you're able to follow up by text, import other lead sources, and text blast up to 1,000 customers at a time, all within
You
minutes.
remembered that.
Yeah, it's
I
1,000.
was going to catch you on that. You're awesome.
So visit Coby.com to see how you can interact with your leads instantly. It's really a phenomenal product.
All right, great. Thank you. And thank you to your sponsors. We appreciate
Absolutely.
the tens of thousands of dollars you send us. We really appreciate it. I'm buying a bigger boat. Who's Jay?
I thought you were going to do something big with a studio. I mean, they should invest in
Right.
this place.
I
I
know.
feel like I'm in Camden. Sorry, Adam.
Our little home.
Who's Jay Lamore?
Jay Lamore. Do you want me to answer the first question you ask or tell you who Jay is?
Let's go with Jay first.
Jay is Brother Jay. It is his brand. Jay's been with Matt Blatt for, correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, 15 years at this point.
Wow.
When we started the Facebook journey, January of 2016, Jay was 12 to 15 car a month average salesperson.
Right.
Bought into the program, really bought into learning about social media and branding himself. And I'm proud to say Jay probably averages 25 cars a month
Nice.
now without taking ups. Just
Without
Nice
taking
job,
up.
Jay.
strictly by appointment. It's changed his life. If I'm going to put him on the spot here, if he wasn't so lazy, he'd probably do 50 cars a month.
Yeah, well,
Sorry, Jay.
here,
I love
no, because you got him here because he misspelled your name. He put Coney, C-O-N-Y.
Oh, that's because he's typing quick on his
Right.
phone. N and B are right next to
And
each
then-
other. I do it to myself.
Right under that, he said, "Stop and have a shot." So we'll see, Jay. Good job on your production there, Jay. And there's probably more there to get, man. So go get it. And thanks for watching. Hey, before we get to the question I asked you, guys, please share this out. If you're watching on YouTube, please share this out. Our YouTube channel is Automax Recruiting. You'll know you're in the right place. There's a picture of a kid screaming into a big microphone that I'll probably get sued on because I stole that image from somewhere. So, but we'll use that for a while. So till I get a cease and desist. Excuse me. So, and obviously there's people watching on our Facebook page, Automax Recruiting.
Who's watching?
There's a bunch of people watching. Anthony Santangelo, Jay is watching. Rick, who's Rick? Rick somebody here. Laura Berman, her and her husband are going to be on the show. Ethan Rawson, who's an awesome guy, real strong follower of the show. Jane, Rick Berman, that's Laura's husband, obviously. So we got we got quite a few people watching live right now, which is
And
interesting.
you know them.
I know a bunch of the people. Yeah.
So also, I want you guys to know that we are on all the audio platforms, podcast platforms as well. If you're going to do a podcast, Craig, speak proper English. We are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher. So go there. Listen, they're about 2 weeks behind, so this podcast will be posted to those platforms about 2 weeks from now. Make sure you, if you need to catch the replay, catch it there. If you need to catch the replay or portion of it, you can get it through our YouTube channel and or from our Facebook Automax Recruiting page. So. And if you would, please smash that share button. We'd really appreciate your support on this. There's always really good content here. We try to pick guests that are interesting, fun, knowledgeable, know what the hell they're talking about, and just didn't start yesterday. So, and Coby definitely did not start yesterday. Him and Ernie are kind of old as dirt, so
Yes.
they've been around for a while. So.
It's remarkable. It's a real pleasure that you came in, Coby. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
It's awesome.
And that's the reason I came in, because like I was telling Craig, there's so many of these podcasts and different video shows, and they come and go. And, you know, it's Facebook. It's the thing to do now. And they come and go, and they're there a week. They're gone another week. You guys have been a constant in the industry. We use you as a vendor. And you're not self-serving. You're actually putting content out there that, to help the industry. And, it's not my saying, but rising tide sails all ships. So if we make the industry better, one person at a time, we're all doing good.
A little closer to your mic, if you would, sir.
Okay.
Perfect. There we go. Perfect. So, to my question, statement, whatever. How do you feel about all that?
Restate the question.
Okay. So, what I'm interested in knowing, and what I think our audience would be interested in knowing is, so you're, I don't know, titles are all weird, but you're basically the director of social for the three Matt Blatt stores. So it's your job, your intent to make sure everybody's on board, 150, 160 employees are all rowing in the same direction socially. But what you seem to do is take it to the community rather than posting cat pictures and an occasional picture of someone taking delivery of their car, which, not that there's necessarily anything wrong with that. However, you seem to take it into the community, and in my opinion, that's what's probably doubled all of the Matt Blatt stores' production over the years that you've been with them. And so, kind of, if you were, so let's take it from this point. You guys own 20 dealerships. You're not going to be able to direct social for 20 dealerships, so you're going to need to bring in somebody under you. That person, he or she, you're going to sit down and say, okay, here's our game plan. Here's our focus. Here's our process. Here's what we want to show the public who we are, what our culture is all about, and here's how we're going to help sell cars. What would you tell that person?
Now you changed the question.
I did a little bit.
You really threw me a curve on that one. Okay, let's answer the first question. It's kind of twofold.
Good.
We're not doing anything different. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're doing what dealers and businesses should be doing anyway, being a part of their community. Just social media exposes us and lets us do it a lot quicker and reach a lot more people and let people know what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, how we're doing it differently. But what we're doing isn't game changing. It's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
you're
but
supposed to be a member of your community.
Right, but very few do it. Would you agree with
Thank
that? I mean,
God.
I don't see it. I mean, I really don't see it. I see, again, like I go back to those guys that are selling 100 a month. They're in their community,
Entrenched in their
physically.
community.
Right. Like, we were talking a little bit before the show, in the old days, for some reason it came over me over the weekend. I can remember on Secretary's Day, which I don't know, that's probably not even politically correct anymore. There probably isn't such a thing.
Administrator.
Administrator Day. I'd buy, I don't know, this story's changed over the years. I might have lied about it right from the beginning, I forget. But let's say 150 carnations I would buy. And I would literally take the whole day and walk into office buildings in Canton, Ohio, and give a business card and a carnation to the secretary, typically a female, sitting at the desk. Here's who I am. Here's who I work. I hope you have a great Secretary's Day.
Can I jump in? That's a great idea to do it today and do it on social media. Go Facebook Live and do it. Think how many people you could market to.
Awesome.
But that's the whole concept, right? Is to do the things you're going to do, but do them live, do them socially, do them where the maximum number of people can see what you're doing.
It just speeds up the process of being successful, of everything we work so hard. Unfortunately, the car business still operates on a 1970s business model.
In a lot of
we
ways.
Advertise the same way. Managers are still telling the salespeople, get on the phones, call those customers.
Get them in.
Email. Email wasn't going to last in the late 1990s. It's still, but nobody's reading emails. Nobody's answering their phones. If you called me today, chances are I'd text you back and say, I'm busy.
Right.
What do you need?
Right.
Because I don't want to know if I
And if
necessarily want to invest that time in you.
Right.
yet.
And if you're not in my phone, the name, it's going right to voicemail, man.
Exactly. So all social media does by putting yourself out there is speed up the process.
Yeah.
Reach more people and speed the process.
Right. Well, and to finish up with that story, I got at the end of the day, it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I got like 5 wilted carnations left. I walk into a building, and I had lost track where I was. I was dog tired. Happened to be the, I don't know, City of Transportation for the City of Canton or whatever. And I go to the secretary. My name is, here's my business card, blah, blah, blah. And guy comes out, her boss, pissed off. Like, what do you do? Who are you? What are you doing in here? I said, dude, I'm sorry. It's Secretary's Day. I'm giving your secretary a carnation. I sell cars down in Canton, Plymouth, and this. And really? Bang. Very long story short, like 3 weeks later, order for 35 city cars. So, I mean, but that's being out there. Now, bring that forward. You got social media. I got
Now stop right
there.
there. Stop right there. You did. Let's say you did 100. That's hard work.
Yeah.
Going place to place, giving 100 carnations. Now, if every one of those, you connected with that secretary you gave the carnation to, did it Facebook Live, her 348 average friends, 338 friends would see that. Now you're multiplying that 100 by 338. Help me with math here. That's 33,000.
Yeah, man.
34,000 people in a day seeing what you did, that you're likable, that you care about that person.
Right.
And it doesn't have anything to do with selling a car. It has to do with who you are.
Right. The math gets ridiculous because her 300, they have 300, and they have it goes on, and it's the 6 degrees of separation times a zillion.
But that is what Ollie and Frank are doing. They're utilizing the people that they sell the cars to, their networks. They're making sure that those people comment and like and share about what that purchase was like.
Right. Yeah. All their customers are repeat and referral business.
Right. But they're marketing themselves via their customers.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're not just posting it on their wall. They're having their customers post information about the purchase. So on their wall, their friends see it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Well, and and you said something about self-serving and that we're not, and I appreciate that, and we try not to be. However, in saying that, it's been a battle of mine for how long has the social media battle cry been with Automax? 7 years?
I was going to say 10.
Right. And
I thought 10 for sure.
Right. And out of the 35 people we got, how many are really engaged? 10, 15?
4? Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Oh, no, I mean, the trainers
have really stepped up. I mean, in our company, he was the only one and he is a driving force of it. Without it, we would all have crumbled. Wouldn't have followed through on it. So, but now I would agree there's probably out of the 25 trainers, consistently all the time?
Yeah, 10 or 12?
Yeah.
Right. So my point is this, that any vendor calls me, business owner calls me, says, my God, you guys are everywhere. Like, you guys must be growing. And we've had a great year. We've had amazing growth. We've really been blessed. But it's from social. And every vendor or business owner that calls me says, God, what are you doing, dude? You guys are everywhere. And all it is a matter of a team being together, having a focus, having a process, having an understanding of how important this is to me. And if it's important to me, it's going to be important to them. Well, we're going to keep talking about it. It's not perfect. It's not redundant until it's perfect. Dave Anderson quote. And I think that's very true. And that seems to be the way that your focus is and the way that you run things, that it is a constant battle, is it not, Coby?
It's every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it was this morning in the sales meeting. It's literally every day. And again, life in general, but especially the car business, is an immediate gratification.
Yeah.
And you think about today and selling a car today.
Yeah.
And social media is the
point.
marathon. It's not the sprint. It's not selling a car
Good
today.
point.
It's doing the things set up so that you don't have, like Jay, who hopefully is still watching, and some of our other salespeople, Suzette, that just work by appointment. They've set up, they've seen the future, and realize they're going to sell a car today, but they also need to sell them in January and February, and they've set up everything to make that happen. And that's what social media really is.
Right. That is a big stumbling block for salespeople specifically, and specifically veteran salespeople, because we are all about
I tried
make a
it,
deal
it doesn't
now.
work. I tried,
Yeah,
I did it, it didn't work.
Right. I did it and it didn't work. I love that one.
Well, I suppose too, though, do people get caught up in they don't feel they're very creative in what they're posting? Because the stuff that you guys do put up is kind of cool. It's creative. At the different store levels. Is that all you coming up with those ideas? The guys?
It's a team effort. I mean, listen, you worked with Roy and I, so you know us. We're both pretty funny guys, but we usually have content meetings. We have a girl, Danielle, that she's our content writer we hired out of college. Maddie and I do a lot of the scripting. AJ, we're all fun. I mean, we think we're funny.
Yeah,
so.
well, they are. They come, but they do come. That's
They
the
come
point.
across very likable.
They come across.
How
likable.
close is this? The Black Horse Pike. That's pretty close, isn't it?
We're gonna have you start doing it now.
All right.
Guess what?
What's
We
it
have little
pay?
kids. The Black Horse Pike.
I know. I love it.
But again, those are our radio ads, and it's just it's top of mind awareness. And listen, radio still works. I mean, billboards still work, TV still works.
Anything
but
works if you own it.
And it's return on investment. What you have to spend to do it. With social media, it's free.
Yeah, man.
Wake up and it's free. I mean, you have paid ads like to Coby and all these vendors, and we do a lot of paid social media. I think we could actually do more, but we've been able to reduce our advertising spend. Which, let's face it, the manufacturer's not even on board with social media. The hoops you have to jump through to get something co-opt forces you to do radio, TV, and things like that.
Well, I'm thinking about sorry to interrupt. Beta test Blatt.
Oh yeah.
What we're doing at Ron Boss.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
just put it in your mind.
Okay.
Totally forgot about it until right now.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect for them. Perfect.
Pick a store. We'll pick a store.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Mind blowing. Blow your mind.
But again, we decided our focus was we're getting off the original question.
Yes. Sorry.
It's
we tend to do that. So
that's fine.
Yeah.
Free
Somebody's
flow.
paying attention.
You said you dug it, man.
I'd rather free flow. I mean, I like hearing myself talk. Ernie's known me for 34 years. I've never been shy.
Boy.
But I like the fact that you guys do that content meeting. You guys actually prepare. You prepare for this. This isn't a wing.
Yeah, who does that?
But that's for the
unusual.
dealership. Okay.
Right.
That's for the dealership, but the salespeople aren't content meeting. The salespeople have the way I equate it to is a mall, and Matt Blatt's a mall, and each salesperson has a store in the mall, and they're all selling the same product. Why is somebody going to come to them? Now, the mall is going to provide a certain amount of people.
Write this stuff
with
down, listeners.
With our advertising, but the salesperson can work real hard and chasing up around the lot and try and close them, get them to like them, and start at -5 and try to bring them to 0 to bring them to a point where they're going to close them, or they can build their own brand and people are coming to buy their brand.
Right.
Suzette, if she's listening, she's with a customer when I left this morning, but she literally was a 15-car a month salesperson, which is good in the car business.
Yeah.
Bought into social media. She's a 35-car a month salesperson now with her own assistant. by appointment only, to the point where I'm going to call her out on this. She's created a character. She's Suzette Matt Blatt Kia. She
Awesome.
can never leave us because that's her brand. So it builds loyalty. She made a
Good point.
She called Las Vegas to make a restaurant reservation out of nowhere. She said Suzette, and the person on the phone happened to be from Atlantic County, and said, "Is this Suzette Matt Blatt Kia?"
No way.
That's how powerful it is.
Are you kidding me?
Swear.
That is a
It's
story.
amazing. She is known as Suzette Matt Blatt Kia. She doesn't have a last name at this
Yeah.
point.
I hope our audience heard that and get that. For the salespeople that are listening right now, managers, dealers, I hope you get what you just heard.
And
'Cause
come
that's-
work with us, and
There you go.
we'll teach you how to be
There
Suzette
it
Matt
is.
Blatt Kia.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what. Yeah, let's. I don't mind. I can say anything I want. So, kind of within reason. These people, the Matt Blatt organization, are our engagement with them has been nothing but top notch. I like legit top notch people. Not that the rest of our 1,000 other clients are not, but these people are they really get it. They're fun. They make a boatload of dough. If you're looking to change houses, other than from current Automax clients, reach out to Coby. That they're the real deal, and they got 2 Kia stores. They got the Mitsubishi store.
Mitsubishi
Hey,
store,
who
2
owned the
Kia.
Kia? Who owned the Kia Point? Was that was an open? That wasn't a closed point.
Which one?
The one in Egg Harbor Township.
That was Atlantic. Charlie Falk owned that point. We
Where the hell was the building? Did they
it
have
was
a building?
No, it was in the Volkswagen Atlantic building.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I
And
can't, I can't say anything bad about them because
we
they're a
got
customer.
lucky. We got lucky with Kia. I mean,
It
Kia
took
a
off.
home
is
freaking run,
fire.
dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
it took
it
off.
really is.
Well, it's a
amazing.
nice product. The
lot of
warranty's
value
crazy.
for the dollar. A lot of value for the dollar.
And then what you guys physically did to the store there in EHT, I think had to make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw that going up, I'm going, oh, there's a bunch of dough down the toilet, right? And that building was kind of, but now, I mean, it's beautiful. It's big. You're right next to,
Auto lenders.
which that can't hurt you. Probably can't hurt them either.
It actually helps them.
It helps them
Yeah,
probably
it
more
definitely
than
helps
you.
them more than
Yeah.
more than it helps us.
Yeah,
Right.
they're an odd place. I went in there one time, and it's
Did you have to wake the salesman up? No, I'm just kidding.
I-
Auto lenders.
dude. You're spot on. It was like
Shake him by his collar.
dude. Seriously, I'm looking for a car. I mean, literally, I'm looking for a car, and I'm so and so, and I'm looking for a car. Zero
Yeah,
interest.
they're trying to do a new thing in the car where you write your own deals.
Oh, is
Where-
that right?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Yeah.
Basically, that's the only way you're going to buy a car.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's getting to that, or trying to get to that, which is bullshit. But that's interesting. So, what's next level? So we've got Instagram, we have Twitter, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Facebook. I don't know that our customers are on Snapchat and so forth, although they will be someday. What's next for you, in your opinion? Where are we at socially? Where's your next gold mine, or where's your current gold mine?
Facebook. I
Yeah.
mean, Facebook's the big daddy. They're not going away. They sign up 500,000 new users a day. People think, oh, it's for old people now. Well, 10 years ago, it was for young people.
Right.
Facebook's still there. Facebook's huge. Instagram's huge. The only difference is you've got to be great on Facebook and Instagram now to be seen. I mean, you've got to really,
Oh, you really do, man.
You've got a big hurdle to jump to be, noticed, to have people pay attention to you.
Yeah.
You've got to be great, which is good because it leaves, it helps us out a lot. But there's other stuff coming. There's talk of TikTok. It's going to be.
Oh, yeah, TikTok,
That's
yeah.
a 10-year-old, a 20-year-old.
Right.
But I see my
Right,
kids;
goofy
they're all
stuff.
using it. But they're going to be buying cars soon too. So
Right.
I want to start getting
my point.
getting involved on TikTok. Some short, funny. We have so much content, like Ernie said, with the creative, with stuff like that, chopping stuff up and putting it out there on TikTok.
Right.
We have Danny working on that now, and
Right.
LinkedIn, I think, we haven't tapped into how LinkedIn can work.
Yeah, I'm not
for
sure.
the car business.
Yeah, I know.
For
I don't know
auto.
that it can.
For your business, I
It
think
does.
It's
will
a
work.
home run
But
for
you know
us.
what? But LinkedIn is also becoming a place that for you to recruit, but for us to recruit,
Sure.
and put and it's becoming more like Facebook. You
Yes.
can, if I want to sell Fiji water, I can put it on
Right.
LinkedIn. So we're going to try with that.
Right. Dude, when I if we have a hard to fill position, something that's giving us some trouble because of typically because of geography. We got a deal in North Dakota, and it's not Boise. It's a little problematic. So I'll take it and I'll write some weird post on LinkedIn, find this weird image. Got to have an image on LinkedIn. That's a key to LinkedIn, pal. You got to have an image with your ad. It makes a huge difference. I A/B tested that thing till it made my eyes bleed. But I'll write this stupid quote unquote ad. Must be King Kong, and I'll have a picture of King Kong on a building or something. Yada yada yada, in Prairie Bluff, Montana. There probably is a Prairie Bluff, Montana. So excuse me, it doesn't make you a bad person. And I'll get just like resumes, 3,000-4,000 views. I put that on Facebook, I get nothing, nothing. Or we can spend, $1,000 running an ad and going through all our processes we do and get, a handful of ads, and I get all of that just from LinkedIn for how much money? Zip.
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
For your business, it's LinkedIn. For
Yeah.
our business, really, it's Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to be everywhere, but you got to focus on the one that's going to work the best. And most people are on Facebook.
Do you work most from your Matt Batt's page or from your personal account, or in which do you feel is
two
stronger?
totally separate things?
Yeah.
Obviously we have Matt Blatt Facebook pages, dealership pages, but
Right.
like I said, it's branding the salesperson.
Right.
As a salesperson, as a person, I can go out and interact with you and engage with you. As a storefront, which is the dealership page, I've got to wait for you to come to me. Okay, I can't go out and reach you unless I'm doing a paid ad.
Paid, yeah.
I'm doing a paid ad, and I'm zapping you with an ad over and over again, and which is fine.
Right.
It creates the attention, but the real
doesn't hurt.
attention is, think about it. You have 10 salespeople in the store, 12, whatever, and each salesperson has 350 friends and your customers, and just keeping the salespeople constantly engaging with their customers, not just posting the "Hey, congratulations and welcome to Joe Smith Auto on the purchase of your XYZ 19 whatever." It's actually getting involved with their customers. If you see their kid, win the Little League championship, take the time to to say something.
That's a good point.
You were saying how it's hard to distinguish yourself any longer on Facebook, that it's become super competitive. And you mentioned Suzette. Can you share at least one thing that she does that helps separate her? I mean, you just mentioned something there about she individually gets engaged in her customers' lives. What else would you?
Involved. We were having a conversation, Tom McClellan and I, one of the managers in our Egg Harbor Township store, were having a conversation this morning about how powerful Suzette is. I don't know if she realized. I think she realized. I don't know if everybody realizes. When she wants to take a day off, she posts it on her Facebook page to make sure her customers don't come in on her day off. That's how much power she has. But she is literally bought into. She genuinely cares about all her customers. She's involved with their families. She's involved with their lives. She comments on if they're out to dinner or vacation, and it literally takes an hour to 2 hours a day doing it at the level she's doing it.
Right.
But
and that's a lot. I mean, that's top level.
But again, 35 cars a month answers it.
Right. It's worth the 2 hours.
Without taking it up.
Right. Two things. I want to talk about video and social media for just in a minute. And I don't know where you guys are at on this. But one of the most aggravating things for me as a business owner in my business is I still have a couple stragglers that where they work. They haven't liked the Automax recruiting page, so it doesn't show up on their profile on Facebook. I lose my mind. I won't, as a Facebook user, if I've gotten, I don't know, I would assume you guys are similar. I mean, how many requests do you get a day? It's like,
A lot.
Sometimes it's more. I mean, it's a lot. And I just take a quick look. If they don't have where they work, and then I'll even go so far, I'll take the next step and go to the about thing. And if they don't have where they work, bang, it's delete, man. If you're in the car business and you won't, at the very minimum, let people know where you work, F you. It's like I'm not. I'm not adding you. There's no reason. You what are you bringing to my life? What are you bringing to my friends' lives? Zip. So I wouldn't do it. Now, is that a problem, or do you?
No, I agree. I don't do it the way you do it. I look at connections and see.
I look at connections.
What area they're in, what value they can add. If I can interact with, if I can engage.
Because you're
with
trying
that
to sell
person.
cars.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a little different, I guess. So, and I was trying to remember on the drive up. I don't know where I got this, and I brought this up on one of our national calls. I think the last trainer call we did. We hold a. Because our trainers are all over the country, we shut down all our brick and mortars in 08 and 09. Best thing we ever did financially. And actually, the best thing, I've got 35 people working from home. They love it. I could probably pay them less money.
I don't know.
No. Can I cut your pay?
No.
No, okay.
time
Well, he's
for
a
an
partner,
increase.
so I can't really cut his pay. So
He could volunteer.
he could. And if
Wouldn't that be something, huh?
That's right, dude.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Thanks for that.
Isn't
That's-
that what like a good quarterback does to get the right wide receiver?
That's right, to bring in other talent. That's exactly right.
Just a suggestion there.
Joe,
bad
my son Joe, if you're listening, he's also a minority partner. Coby just came up with a great idea. And,
For Joe?
And you.
Oh.
To both of you to cut your pay.
Oh, I see.
To bring it. I've done it. So everybody could get paid in 08 and 09.
Yeah.
All right, so, and I was trying to think on the way up, and I cannot remember where I saw this, but I thought it was brilliant, and I haven't seen it. So, from a car dealership, now I was trying to transfer it to my trainers, which is one thing. But, okay, so you sell a car to a customer, okay? The deal's done. They're taking or have taken delivery. You take their phone, you add yourself as a friend, then you hit live on you have the customer's phone. Now you're doing a live stream of you, the salesperson, and the customer that is taking or has just taken delivery. Now you're doing a live stream from that customer's phone out to his again, and I think it is somewhere around 300 average, isn't it?
338.
Yeah,
Is
right.
the actual
338.
number from Facebook.
Right.
Okay.
How powerful is that?
Well, think about it. And you probably saw it on one of ours because that's what our salespeople are
Oh,
trained to do.
okay. Could have been.
I'll take a little credit for that.
Right.
And with Facebook's algorithm, and I don't want to get into all the, I'll give you all the answers. 99% of the people listening aren't going to take the time to do it.
That's unfortunate.
Unfortunately, and even our own people know it works, but they won't be consistent with it. So it's just, I got to constantly hammer and hammer. Why wouldn't you?
I know.
You have access. It's like selling you a car, and before delivery, asking you for your phone, and your question is why. And I say, so I can call everybody in your phone and let them know you bought a car and try and sell them a car.
Right.
Really, all it does
Right.
is it celebrates the customer. A video is an endorsement. Facebook Live is transparent. If you fuck something up, the customer's going to say they didn't like this about the process. There's nothing you can hide.
Right.
It's the customer is free to say whatever they want, and chances are they're going to say, Ernie's my guy. You got to come see him, which is so much better than, hey, congratulations and welcome to the XYZ family on your purchase.
Third-party
It's a picture.
validation is what it's all about,
An
man.
endorsement.
You
Little
bet.
micro endorsements, 10, 20 times a month with 338 people each time, builds business.
Right. And again, who that's going to?
I'll,
It's
I'll,
just endless,
I'll
man.
go to Jay, and again, I'll embarrass Jay if he's still watching. He actually sent me a text from a Facebook Live video. I'm going to read it because it was amazing. Let me see if I still have it.
Right, you are, Jason.
And I don't have my glasses, so
Jason Girdner, I agree. Takes a combination of paid and organic to smash it out of the park. I would
Absolutely.
agree with that.
Yes.
I didn't say differently, did I?
No, you did
Okay.
not. No, you mentioned almost exactly that.
Let me go to Jay. And anyway, Jay's great with Facebook Live videos. He's got a great following. And he sent me a text the other day. This was last Wednesday. He got a text Monday morning. He sent it to me Wednesday. Morning, Jay. I'm reaching out because I saw a video. My cousin bought a van from you a few months back, and I'm looking for one. But you know my credit situation. I want to come through and see what I can do if anything's possible. Jay's like, absolutely. When is the best time to come by? I'm going to come in today. Sold the vehicle from a video from a few months ago.
Right.
It has staying power. It's
Yeah.
like taking a magazine and throwing it on a coffee table.
Yeah. It's
You know,
powerful.
it's always there. Social media is always there, and it sticks, it resonates, and it's top of mind awareness,
Right.
which is what we try and do in the car business
Right.
forever.
Well, and video much stronger than a written.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Well,
If
you
the
need
pictures,
written, you need pictures, and you need video. You need a
Right.
mix of everything.
I mean, it has been broken down, and I forget the exact number, but you know, the old adage is a picture's worth 1,000 words, but they've broken it down where a video is worth millions.
6 times. Facebook Live video gets 6 times the engagement a post does.
Oh, is that right?
That's from Facebook.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't doubt that in
Yeah.
the least.
And that's
yeah,
available
that
to
might be-
every single salesperson.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, and that's what our trainers should be doing.
That's what
With
we're
the,
talking
you know, and I don't know if you notice it in the algorithm. I don't know how often we come up on your feed, but it's like most.
Since I agreed to do this every 5 minutes.
So let me ask you
could
something.
get a
though.
little annoying, pal.
So is a Facebook Live more powerful than a video that
Absolutely.
you post?
yeah,
The-
I
Then
think
they
so.
should, we
the
should
way
be
it go-
doing
the way
those
it goes-
That's
live.
what I'm saying, man.
The way it goes is Facebook Live has the number, and I'll explain to you Zuckerberg. You know, when we had lunch last week, he explained it to me.
Right.
Oh,
Just
that's nice.
kidding.
of you.
That's cool.
Pretty cool.
Anyway, there's
Thanks for
Facebook-
giving us your time.
Yeah, no
There's
problem.
Facebook Live, there's video, and then there's a post. And what had happened was when Zuckerberg and Facebook got in all the trouble with the government, and, you know, the famous meme with Zuckerberg saying we sell advertising or whatever, he said we're going to go back to being a social company. We're going to sell our advertising and make our money, but we're only going to show you content and feed you content that we feel is valuable to you.
Right.
So if I post on my page a picture of Ernie buying a car from me,
Right.
100% of my friends have the opportunity to see it.
Right.
10 to 20% of his because it's not
Right.
valuable to his friends.
Correct.
So if you do it from the customer, okay, it reverses it. 10 to 20% of my people aren't going
There
to
you
get
go.
tired of seeing me do it 20 times a month.
Yeah.
And Ernie and Craig and Joe and Bill that all have different friends
Right.
will see the content.
Right, and that's a good point. That's what I'm trying to get through to our trainers while they're out in the field. They all do a real nice job getting reviews from video reviews from their dealer. They do a nice job with it, and they're real. They're legit. They're not set up. They're like, "Hey, would you mind giving us a video review?" And I'm going to post it. And I'm going to ask
Rather
you how
than
you
being called 100 times by different dealers for references and
right.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's our reference. So we have
Yeah,
hundreds
same thing
of
in our
these videos.
business.
We send them out. So I'm trying to get them to do what I just described, to have the
Use
have
the
the
contacts.
trainer use the contact's phone and to do a Facebook Live with
Why
that.
won't they?
I don't. I think
That's
it's
a
I
really
think
good
it's-
question,
I-
dude. I don't know.
I think it's only
fear-
we've only just asked them to do that.
Yeah.
We haven't been asking them to do that. That concept, I
Yeah.
think you just talked about that 2 weeks ago. It's the
Right.
first time we really
I've been
asked
I
them.
guess.
The Facebook Live, to go Facebook Live as a
Yeah.
review,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
I don't know that we've asked them to
Yeah. Probably not.
to
I've
do
been
that.
asking salespeople to do it since last November.
Well, I would think you could have pushback though, because a customer, they might be uneasy to ask a customer. Do you get
Well,
pushback?
sure, they're not
know
going to
what's
all
not-
say
Listen,
yes.
I don't, and what I say is don't focus on the ones that say no. Focus on the ones that
There
say
you
yes.
go.
Sales,
Of
right?
course,
Okay.
Sales.
And
Right.
you're going to have no's, and there's reasons for no's. You don't want to make the customer feel uncomfortable, but look, I'll give you my script, for lack of a better word, is, hey, Mr. Customer, Ernie, how'd you find the process here, dealing with me?
Right.
Your answer, what'd you think of car dealers before you met me?
Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
Would you mind endorsing me to your friends? Would you mind doing a testimony to your friends? Instead of me calling you and asking you for referrals all the time,
Right.
and you saying, yeah, if anybody asks,
Right.
I'll send them.
Right.
Would you mind doing an endorsement right now for me? You're on Facebook or Instagram, one of them. Would you mind doing? And listen, before we finish, you want to know what's in it for you. You don't have to do anything. If anybody comes in and buys a car and I see that you're their connection, you're going to get a check in the mail. How's that
Yeah.
sound?
Which is phenomenal because
Right.
you then post that. That's a live video when you're. That's
right, man.
So you've seen those?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've
Yeah,
seen
man.
them.
Glad I got your guys' attention.
I mean, what was it like in the old days? I don't know if were you guys trained with a Why Buy Here book or Why Buy From Me book or
Yeah,
evidence manual?
Absolutely.
Right. So, hey, I'm going to go check on your car, see where it's at, getting ready for delivery. Just if you would leave through this or whatever. Or when we went to see the manager.
That's
And
all
it-
Facebook is your why buy here bar.
That's right. It's
Absolutely.
exactly right. That's my
your
point.
digital-
And at the end of the deal, we'd leave a piece of paper. Hey, if you wouldn't mind, leave me the name. If you had a good experience here today, blah blah blah. Leave me the name and number of 3 friends that you think
Always.
most likely in the market for a new used car, truck, or van, either now or in the near future. Would you do that for me, please? Right. And some do, some don't. And that's what we're doing here on a.
That's why I said it's
gigantic
not.
scale.
We're not reinventing the wheel.
No, man. We just took a different tool.
We just had I'll steal a line from Frank Cronetti. He talks about the hammer and the chisel still works.
Right.
This is the power tool.
Yeah.
You can build a house with a hammer and the chisel and the saw, or you can get a power tool and
Right.
make it happen a lot quicker
Yep.
and get your way to success and get those referrals immediate gratification, like we talk about.
There's that's some great information that we've shared. Absolutely how to.
What's Jason Gardner saying here? Let me read what Jason said. It's important to get them to do the live video and not to do it on the salesperson's page.
Correct.
I agree. We agree.
That's what we
The
agree.
customer needs to do it on their page. Agreed.
Yeah.
The reach needs to be to their audience, not the salesperson's audience. Again, agreed. It's pretty easy to
Is
talk
there an
them
echo
into
in
it.
here?
And when did you first learn that? Like, how did you learn that, Coby?
Mabel, you're right. Coby is the man. Hey, share this out, Mabel, will you? You got
Hey,
a
Mabel.
zillion cool friends. James Steele, thanks. You've been a real thank you for everything you do. Your wife is watching.
Yeah, she went
Hi,
to-
Carol.
She absolutely said she misses this young man.
Yeah?
Not so young.
Not so young anymore, are we? Yes, we are. Don't fall for that shit.
Carol's young. You
Got my
guys are
gray
old
beard.
as dirt.
Yeah, come on, man.
I grew this beard for you guys.
Yeah, it's good.
I said,
It's
if
a
I'm going
good
to come
look,
on the
dude.
show, I got to go
Yeah,
with a
a
beard.
little
I'm
bit.
going to pontificate about the car business. I better look.
Yeah, right. Oh, there's, well, we'll get to those. Back in
Mabel
those days.
says, funny you say that. My GM gets annoyed when I'm always on the phone with customers texting.
That's not smart.
It's crazy, man. I mean,
But where do you come up? Like, so, what your source of knowledge to keep getting staying ahead of the curve with social so knowing that, like, where'd you come up with that? How'd you come up with that?
You're just reading about the changes, and just saying, okay, how do I reach more people? You see your engagements start dropping. You
Okay.
see, you're not getting as many views, as many likes. Listen, there's so much power in the like. People say, oh, don't worry about likes.
And that's changed.
No, I think there's tons of power in
Well,
the like.
no. But I mean, the way that Facebook is
Well,
going
exactly.
to go.
They're not feeding stuff. Like I said, if you and I are connected, they're not going to feed stuff that you don't care about. Facebook's algorithm, it has so many people watching and making sure that they're feeding you content that you care about. So
if you're not seeing likes to your stuff, then you've got.
or if you're seeing the same people over and over again saying, hey, good job, congratulations on selling a car, chances are you're doing it wrong.
right.
You're making it about you instead of making it about the customer. Make it about the customer, and it's just a win. Again, I'll go back to Suzette. She just makes it about her customer. She's not real big in video, so if you're watching Suzette, you just texted me. We're going to get you there. But, again, like Suzette says, don't worry about me. I built my brand. Focus on the others. And I give it to her. She's phenomenal. But she takes the time to really care about the customer. And her posts are personal, that she talks about their kids. She talks about anything that's real, that, you can see that she's bought into the customer and she's genuinely a friend to the customer. And that's why her customers are so loyal.
Sorry.
Are you eating nuts while you're talking to us?
I am.
So
So
nuts.
we've done worse in here. So, in your opinion, how close do you feel people are on social media, or how they portray themselves to who they are in real life? What's been your experience?
Wow. That's all over the spectrum. Again, you can...
People are people.
People are people. They're the same as we always were. Social media, just exposes you. If you're a jerk off, you're a jerk off on social media. If you're a nice guy, nice girl, you're that way on social media. All it does is it exposes who you are. Now, there's a lot of people that present themselves differently on social media,
That's what I'm
but it
saying.
always
They're
comes out.
composers.
It always comes out.
Typically.
I'm
Should.
not going to mention names, but we know in the car business how many come out that all of a sudden you go, you know what? I knew that guy was.
Well,
a jerk
I know
off.
you're not a big Cardone fan, right?
Definitely not a Grant Cardone fan.
Right, and neither am I.
But
and I know Grant.
listen, give him props. I just think he has a dark soul. I don't think
Right.
he's real.
Yeah. Well, that's the Scientology part of it. I would think it has something to do
before
with
Be
it.
that-
careful.
Yeah.
Don't say the Illuminati will get us.
Yeah. All of a sudden, guys in black armbands come in here or whatever they do.
Grant, that was Craig Lockhart saying that. If you are putting a hit squad out, I didn't say that.
Right. The last thing Grant said to me face to face though was, "I really like your social, the way you're doing your social." I said, "Okay, thanks, dude." But I mean, there's a perfect example.
Now, how did you know I'm not a big Grant Cardone fan?
You-
There's a post.
Yeah.
Wow, I had your attention. Social works.
Yeah. And you were giving him props. I forget what the props were, but
Listen,
it was
the guy's
about
made a fortune.
Right.
Guy's made a fortune out of convincing people that he's the guy to go to. And there's a lot of people I know that love what he has to say.
Right.
And
Well, that's the thing. That's my point. He is millions of, I would call them flat out sycophants, but basically, sorry to those people that love Grant Cardone, but that, this is my opinion. It's my show. It's my opinion. So I can say whatever the hell I want.
and
if you don't
hopefully
like
he'd
it.
respect that.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure he would. Did you see him in Belfort? Did
Yeah,
you
I
see
did
that,
see that.
that podcast?
Absolutely.
That was interesting on 10 different levels. Because I wasn't a real big Belfort fan, but after that, I'm like, geez, he just beat the shit out of Cardone.
And they're both opportunists. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Who knows? The whole thing could have been set up that way for that matter.
Exactly.
Right. But yeah, Grant, Grant portrays himself as one way and then, is
Well,
probably
I mean,
another way.
if we're talking about Grant Cardone, my problem with him is he got his start in the car business and trashes the car business.
Oh, he does. Did you see him and Gary Vee?
Yeah.
I mean, he flat out he said something like, "Yeah, but we're talking about the car business, selling cars or car salesman." I was like, "F you, man." What
He's
the
kind.
fuck?
He's kind of like that. And I know he still does a lot of like infomercials with Dean Graziosi. The guy started the same thing. This is how you flip cars. This is how you flip houses. They're
Right.
chameleons and
Right.
they're very good at it. I liken a lot of them to like TV evangelists back in the 1970s, 80s, and
that's pretty
they
close.
kind of prey on the weak and the followers. And are they authentic? Do they really care about their audience? Or are they lining their pockets? They're great at selling themselves.
Right. Yeah. Now, which is
God bless
in and
him.
of itself is not a bad thing.
Right.
But however, it's there's some bad mixed in there. You got to be careful.
It
take
talks about
advantage.
integrity. Are you
Right, you're
really
taking
offering
advantage.
value? If you're offering
Right.
value and selling yourself, great for you. If you're
Not-
just
yeah.
selling,
I don't know what your stance is on Gary Vee, but I've actually learned, or I feel like I've learned some things from Gary Vee.
I
Some good-
love Gary Vee.
Yeah.
We actually Gary Vee, I will say, was the deciding factor with Matt Blatt. Roy paid a lot of money to get all the managers in a private room with Gary Vee.
Oh, really?
10 of us, and just a marketing meeting, just getting in his head. Because again, although Roy and I are very close and he believed me, and I've been showing him to take it to the next level,
Gotta sell
got
everybody
him in
else,
front
man.
of Gary Vee, and Gary Vee just woke everybody up.
Yeah. Audience, listen to what Coby just said. It's like you're not just magically going to wake up one day and go, okay, let's do social media. You need to do research. You need to talk to the winners. You need to talk to the people that are doing enormous numbers. You need to talk to legit experts, not people that, I love the things, and I'm sure you guys get them. I get something on Instagram. Hey, we have this program and blah, blah, blah. And they have, like 80 followers. It's like,
clickbait.
dude, I ain't
Funnels.
listening to you. Right.
Funnels.
They are sales funnels.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
But it's like, so that's impressive. That
But-
your principal would take those people there, but that kind of is his MO.
Well,
right?
I was going to say,
right from when you guys started.
Absolutely. Look at when we first started in the auto business, how much training, and it came, the Cardons did it, but Roy definitely made it happen. So that was going to be, and Craig, earlier you were saying how it's been good doing business with Matt Blatt and Roy Greenblatt in those stores. Well, it's because of Roy. I mean, the way he's run his businesses from, our business when we were at Cardon, and then the used car lot he had that you guys were working with, and then when he got his first store, the pre-owned, how he set up all the cars were in magnificent shape, the inspection that he put them through. That same, attention to detail, but he was always teaching people, always investing in training, which is, I don't know, that's what allowed you guys to get where you
Listen,
are.
practice. I look at the car business. We're the only business that you don't have to practice before game time. So many dealers let you practice on their customers.
I know, man.
I want to role play. I want to practice in house. Make sure you're handling everything properly.
And that's the way both of you guys were trained, right from jump, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard it from you numerous times. Right. I mean, and it wasn't a one-time thing. Okay, now you're trained.
No.
Right? It was ongoing.
Every day.
Right.
Yeah. When we say every day, it was every single day.
Right.
Before we even hit the sales floor, we had a 2-week training on how to be a salesperson.
Well, I did what was it, last week? I think I did a.
With?
Did I do one myself last week?
Did.
Or?
You did. You did a solo Wednesday.
Yeah, whatever.
Like.
So I talked about sales meetings and why, in my opinion, that managers don't hold sales meetings. And a lot of them say time. But I think if you really put a gun to their head, it's a matter of lack of content. It's like, what can I go in with daily and talk about daily to where it doesn't get old or it turns into a beating instead of a meeting?
Save a deal. Why couldn't you sell that car? What could we have said differently? One by one by one.
Right.
I mean,
so it's in my opinion that dealers should, what I put out there and something that we did when I was on the road and traveling a lot, and what we do in some dealerships now is you go in with the salespeople and you got all the vets in there. They don't want to be there. They don't want to be in your meeting, typically, for the most part. You get a few rookies that do, but the vets, they don't. It's like, okay, when's this going to be over? Well, say your shit and let me go out and talk about the Eagles game yesterday. You don't want to talk about the Eagles game, do you?
I'll talk about it.
All right. Okay.
You win, you lose, you keep playing the season.
So it's in my opinion, you bring up. So anybody have a situation, say that they couldn't handle that they'd like to talk about? Yeah, I got one. What's that? Well, I had a missing party. Okay. Who was missing? A husband or wife, man or woman, mother, father, sister, brother, whatever. Significant other, to be politically correct. So what? You had somebody missing. Talk about it a little bit. Yeah. The husband wasn't there, yada, yada, yada. All right, anybody else in the room have that situation? Everybody's hands go up, all right? All right, so Ernie, how would you handle that? And then Ernie would pontificate on, okay, well, here's what I do when I have that situation. Mm-hmm. Great. Do you think, and then to the salesman that brought it up, do you think that's a possibility? Do you see your personality being able to do that? And then somebody else, and then somebody else, and then somebody else, and then somebody else. And then at the end, if you legit, as a manager, have something strong to say or add to that, because all you're doing is facilitating, making sure the thing doesn't get out of hand. Now, who are they going to listen to? Who you got a better chance of that person that has the problem? Who are they going to listen to more likely, you or their peers? In my opinion, it's their peers.
Sure. If you have peer that's willing to share, and the car business, that's where it has evolved. Like, people are willing to share now.
I think
social media has helped that people are willing to share.
Yeah.
If you can't get it in your store, there's so many sources
outlets.
for it.
Yeah,
good point.
There's so many sources for good information now.
Yeah, right. Well, one thing that at that store anyway, a lot of the things we said were scripted. Like, you know what I mean? We were taught how to answer any conceivable objection,
right,
no matter what it was. And it was just a matter of molding it to your own personality. And one of the things I definitely noticed was there were some people who actually followed the script, and there were people who didn't.
Right.
The people who followed the script and modified it to them to some degree were way more successful.
No question.
So it's kind of like you're talking about with the social media. You then, at your dealership, you're coaching your people what to do, how to do, all the time. I take it.
All the time.
All the time.
That's my job.
Hey, and if you get a pee, just go ahead and go.
You could tell?
Yeah. So, scripts. I don't know where you stand on them, but like anytime I've talked about scripts with salespeople, it's like this. It's like, how did we learn to talk, right? Our parents. And what did they do? They leaned over our crib and say, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, mommy," typically the word that children say typically say the first word that children typically say is the word no. The reason why is they hear the word no nearly 500,000 times by the time they're 8 years old, in one form or another. but our parents are
Not
giving
anymore.
us. Yeah.
We'll go off on the millennials.
Yeah,
Not
right.
anymore.
That's right. Yeah. Sure, you could be an astronaut. You can do anything.
Your kids are definitely grown.
But so my point is that we take that script that our parents. It's typically we don't still call our mother, mommy. We call her mom, mother. Some people call it by the. I used to call my mom by her first name just to mess with her because it pissed her off. We don't call her typically. Adult women don't call their dad or their father daddy. Unless they have some issues. No, I'm only kidding. No,
That was my last business.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We should probably talk about that. That's kind of interesting.
As an entrepreneur.
So, but they don't subtract from that original script we learned. We add to it, and I think it's the same thing with salespeople. Would you guys agree or disagree on that? That we have to take a script. So, in the heat of the battle,
Point, right?
when your mind goes blank, and it does, it's like, oh crap.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, right. Muscle memory. That's
Practice
right.
and practice.
That's right,
why
Coby.
we did
Practice,
it.
drill, rehearse. Practice, drill, rehearse.
That's right,
when
man.
it hits you, you go, that's what I
Yeah,
said.
yeah. And then you can riff off of that,
Right.
and build from
And
it.
also-
Don't subtract from.
And I'm not a huge script. I just don't think it's authentic. But the basics.
Yeah, but you have to have
You have to have the basics.
Yeah.
How to handle
some way to
But just
start.
be real. I mean, and the car business has evolved to, listen, the customer is definitely in charge at this point. So if you're coming with canned scripts, the customer senses that too.
They know it.
Right. So, but to Ernie's point, back when we sold cars in the 80s, it was scripts and you went off your script, but it gave you a base.
Yeah.
It gave you a strong base to work off of.
Right, well, there's still a process. You guys
Absolutely.
don't. Not everybody in your store just sells a car the way they
No,
want,
exactly.
right?
No,
I'm sure
we
you
have a process.
Right. I'm sure you guys educate and
and there's a reason
re-educate
for it.
Yeah, on that process. No doubt about that. Go ahead.
I'm going to
Yeah, go ahead.
take a little break. You guys can talk about me while I'm gone.
We will.
We
too.
will. We will.
We will.
Might as well talk about some of our lovely
Yeah, let's do that.
Right.
Let's talk about
want?
Dealer World and
Automotive HR.
Automotive HR.
So with Dealer World, it is an advertising agency, a performance agency. And we've known Troy Spring for, I don't know, now it's 10 years, I guess?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, a little over that, actually. 07, maybe, 06.
Okay.
I met him.
Well, there's 12. So a genuine individual, very smart, worked the automotive retail market, became very successful, running 4 stores for a large dealer group. So he knows the business inside and out. He also started his company literally with like $50, $60 left to his name after the last recession, worldwide economic challenges. So from that, he's grown this company into a just unbelievably powerhouse in the automotive industry. So Dealer World is a professional marketing advertising agency. So when you want better ads that focus on leads, and more leads, social interaction, better ads that are engaging socially and digitally, and a lot of times they can do their marketing and advertising for half the fees you're currently paying. We strongly urge you to visit mydealerworld.com. It is one of the fastest growing agencies in the country. Mydealerworld.com. He's got Hunter Swift, who can answer all your questions. He's got a whole team of people behind him. They're actually just now hiring more people. Yeah. So anything with digital, and the way they go about doing their business is different. They can offer you advice on things that you're doing. So I'd go to that website, mydealerworld.com. Ask for an advertising audit. Oftentimes they'll do it for free, and that'll give you a sense of what they can do for you. And those are our buddies at mydealerworld.com.
Yeah, they're awesome. And really, Troy's main strength is his wife, Brittany. without her, he's screwed.
Yeah, that is our kicking coverage there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Troy
Sorry,
and Brittany.
Troy. We love you, dude, man, but
Oh,
you did well.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see, did Troy lie to her?
I don't know.
I don't think so. He just really sold her, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Well, it's kind of cool, though. I read this on one of their We're Talking Social posts at how when they met, they had a kind of vision of what they would want to accomplish in their lives, and it meshed, and they're both following through on that through their company, but also then personally. So it's kind of neat to see.
I've had that about 35 times in my life.
Well, this one seems to be working so that it can only be one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're not supposed to do 35.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
I haven't.
No, you haven't. How long?
We are going to be married in 30 years
30?
in October. Yeah.
Jesus, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
That's unreal.
Yeah.
That's unusual in the car business.
Well, yeah, but I'm not working
any
retail,
business.
so
Yeah.
just in life, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's not so easy for her to be with me.
Yeah.
How's that?
No kidding.
Yesterday was Wife Appreciation Day. That was yesterday.
It was?
It was. As I was told. So
I found out
I fell
last
into
week.
that. I believe
Isn't
it,
every day Wife Appreciation
sure?
Day?
It better be.
Should be. I got a text from my second grandson last week. It was Grandparents' Day, like last week or something. It's like I didn't know there was such a thing. Yeah. I said, well, "Thanks, dude, man."
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Well,
from
speaking
Eli.
of the wedding, Kobe was in my wedding. That's how far back it goes.
Is that right?
Yeah, Kobe was in the
30
wedding.
years ago?
It's going to be 30 years. Yeah.
Damn.
We are old.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it's hard to imagine 30 years goes by. But yeah,
It gets worse. I mean, from the point of how time flies, like weeks become minutes. It's so weird. It is just like.
what do they say?
Yeah.
Carol had said this to me. I heard before. The days are long, the years are short.
Yeah, man. That's
Right?
fact.
It seems to be how it goes by when you look back.
Let's talk about our friend Stephen Warner and the amazing Automotive HR recruiting platform.
Right. It's a service that we utilize. So what we're urging you to look into, we as a company utilize their software platform. So Automotive HR is a complete HR management system for both large and small dealerships. It targets and tracks top automotive talent, visiting hundreds of job boards, including Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Glassdoor, and Google for Jobs. Automotive HR provides a professional branded career website and microsites that enhance the candidate experience, sharing quality information about the dealership. Automotive HR allows your managers to schedule, interview, and hire with ease and tracks all communication. The platform is EEO and OFCCP compliant with
I
a
love when
full
you do that.
audit trail. It's a full audit trail.
He's reading off a teleprompter.
Yeah, there it is. and
It's
it can
amazing.
be,
He has this memorized, isn't it, dude?
and it can, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you got to
Yeah.
try to do them justice.
That's right.
Giving us a buck or two, so that's
right.
what, probably only a buck,
Right.
not two.
Yeah, it's barely two.
Man, we love to hack on our
We do.
sponsors. Thanks for sponsoring.
You guys are all due for a bump, too, so buckle up.
yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
they got me on the show. You guys should pay us.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that software platform is phenomenal. You can, from a dealer perspective, you've got a lot of different jobs to post. You don't necessarily have the creative to write the ad. You don't know where to post the ad to get the largest response. With this, every conceivable position you have in the dealership, there's an already scripted ad, or we say scripts, no scripts. Well, these are ads that are highly effective. They're loaded with search engine optimization. From a push of a button, they're all legally compliant. They hit the internet. They disperse across the internet. All your response comes right into that one database. It's all available. It's the easiest way to operate your organization.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys use when you like come to a dealership?
We in part
Because it always like amazes me how many candidates show up
Yeah.
for interviews, and
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
it's we'll run an ad for a salesperson. We'll be lucky to get one or two. You guys come and run an ad. We go, where'd all these people come from? that wanna be in the car
yeah,
business?
so in part we
nuts.
use that platform, and
In
part
part.
of it is that we're on top of each applicant as they apply. We then, because they're all in that database, we can get to
Immediate
them
engagement.
multiple
walk them
engagement,
in.
multiple.
Right. It's like a BDC. That, recruitment is not dissimilar at all to
Right.
running a BDC. I mean, it's like get back to the person uniquely, quickly, right?
And still within that, Kobe, thanks for saying that, but
Yeah, thank
there's
you.
still tons of ghosting. In other words, there's
Yeah.
tons of people
it.
that make their appointment to go in for high-level positions,
Right.
service director positions, technician positions, sales, but don't show.
yeah, they just
It's
disappear. It's weird.
It's phenomenal. I don't know.
To give you an idea, folks, and a little name dropping here, but if you guys want to see what Automotive HR looks like, Brian Benstock, Paragon Honda, go to their website and go to their About Us page, and it's, I don't know, it's called Careers or whatever. And see, I mean, it takes minutes. See what this can look like, what your career tab can look like. Right. If you're into DIY, man, this is a game changer for you. For cheap dollars a month. I mean, cheap, right. Stupid cheap dollars a month. Also, check out while you're doing it. If you're checking, go to Patriot Subaru. They're a client of ours, and Adam Aarons is the owner. They've won Top Dealer of the Year award from NADA for I don't know several years running, whatever it is. They do a great job there. But Adam's himself has cut I don't know, it's probably a 2.5 minute, 3 minute video about the culture and why it's so awesome to work for the Patriot Group, and that's on his Automotive HR site and his page. I mean, to give you an idea, let me jump back to Paragon. They have, I think it's, and I'm going to screw this up, but it's 17 or 18 languages spoken on the showroom floor at that dealership. 17 or 18 languages. Automotive HR can post your ad in 100 different languages. So, I mean, if you're looking for whatever to diversify your store, which is crazy important, probably be a good idea to put that ad out in the person's first language, and then follow it up with one in English. Probably be a pretty good idea, and this does it with a push of a button. So right. It's pretty awesome. Also, if you're interested, you can call Automax, and because we are partnered with them, and 800-878-5090, 800-878-5090, or go to our Contact Us page, automaxrecruitingandtraining.com. And just mention the Recruiter Podcast, and we'll save you a couple bucks there. Yep. So, Coby's back from taking a pee.
I just got texted by Melvin Rodriguez at Burlington Volkswagen. He says I look fat. That's not good.
No. The camera adds.
I think it's the camera.
Yeah, it's the camera.
Definitely not fat. Melvin's skinny.
The guy's in great shape.
I'll tell you what, how about just being nice?
I was going to ask you.
How about just being kind and likable, Melvin?
Be nice, Melvin. Come on, man.
I'm going to have to text Marcus DeAngelis, tell him how mean you are.
Marcus has done business.
You are in good shape, though, dude. What do you do?
Once in a while, I work out.
Yeah.
No, I mean, for real. I get real
shape.
consistent, and then something happens. I start hitting this. I start hitting that. I eat bad.
That is some bourbon.
And then I just got to pull myself back in. But, that's so important to your day, too, is just getting your day started, clearing your mind, working out. Gotcha. Everybody keeps talking about the 75 hard. It's all over the place with Andy Frisella.
I'm going to do one called Pound 37.5 Days Flaccid.
I'm doing 75 hard liquor. So
I just don't, I'm just not a believer in anything that is
extreme,
hard.
That's
that makes no sense to me because you don't sustain it. I do exercise that I can sustain and I can do every other day or whatever.
Realistically with your lifestyle,
and it's worked for you.
Yeah.
You've gotten a lot. Yeah. You're in better shape now than you were 10 years ago,
probably
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. 10 years ago, you were playing a lot of basketball, so maybe 5 or 6 years.
In between there, I started getting ailments, and so anytime I would work out, I'd be sidelined, and so you couldn't do it. But now that I've kind of got past that, I can work out and continue to work out. I'm not extreme. I'm just doing enough that keeps me fit. I'm trying to be fit.
I love Andy Frisella. I mean, if you listen to the guy's podcast, the MF CEO, motherfucking CEO, the guy's amazing.
Is that right?
Amazing guy. And he's the one that started 75 hard. And listen, I get it. I'm not willing to give up certain things. I'm not willing to give up my booze now
it's
in
intense,
my life.
Man.
It is.
Especially where we live. How are you going to do 45 minutes outside?
That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard.
Yeah,
it's not. Right. Life isn't easy.
Right,
and that's his thing. Life throws you curveball. Right. You still got to get the job done.
Yeah.
So you got to get it done, and that's his thing behind it. It's mental toughness is more than a physical challenge. It's a mental challenge.
So when you do work out, weights, cardio, what do you do?
Weights. Do a lot of biking, but mostly weights.
Yeah. Do you spend time at the beach or no?
I try to. I live there.
Yeah. So. Right.
Are you right on the beach?
Yeah.
Or close to
on the bay.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. Atlantic City's,
Stop. It's a shithole.
parts of it are a shithole, but it's
You're not in.
No, I'm
Atlantic
in Atlantic
City. Are you?
City. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where you reside.
parts of it are not good.
There's one
But-
nice area, like super nice area that I'm fortunate enough to live in, and it's starting to fade a little.
Is it?
Yeah.
That
Well,
sucks. Are you down near the Revel or
No, I'm
the
the opposite end. I'm on the Ventnor side, which is
okay.
Chelsea, which is
Yeah.
nicer area.
Yeah. My youngest son just bought a place in Ventnor Heights and turned a top floor into an Airbnb. Like that is, Ventnor's like the Airbnb capital of the world, man. It's like crazy. And I mean, and these people are making a fortune.
Oh, I know.
Because in the hotels, they just came up with a tax
On the Airbnbs.
Yeah. Because I mean,
They're crushing them.
They are, man, and it makes all the sense in the world. It's a third of the price or whatever.
I've never done an Airbnb. It makes me nervous.
Oh, I have. I've had good experiences.
Our trainers now, one of our trainers, Heather Allrad, turned all of us on to.
Yeah.
She's not with us at the moment, but maybe in some time we'll come back,
Yeah,
right?
maybe. Yeah.
In
Come
any
on back,
event,
Heather.
in any event, she started the B&B Airbnb craze with our
Yeah,
trainers,
yeah.
and they seem to
A lot
love
of
it, Kobe. I kind
do.
of be a little bit more like you, a little apprehensive.
Yeah,
the Airbnb's not.
I'm
bad
worried
at all.
about towel sheets,
Yeah,
things
no.
like that.
The guys
Yeah.
love it. They
Well,
save
there
a
are
ton of
there's
money.
bad stories. Like it's,
many.
you get a bad Airbnb like you get a bad Uber driver. The only difference is you got to be there for a
Well,
week.
again, a hotel I can hold somebody accountable. An Airbnb,
Fact.
who are you holding accountable?
That's a fact.
You got the
Just
keys
don't
to
go-
their house, and
Yeah.
you don't go back, but you're still.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still sleeping in
Yeah.
a shithole.
Now, how did you
Bed
pick Atlantic
bugs
City
or
to stay, like live? Just because that's where the work was, or
Well, again, do we want to digress all the way into me getting out of the business?
Yeah,
into,
go back.
after it's up to you. You can get into what you want or don't. I don't care.
You can answer that. Let's go speaker. Let's go Facebook Live
That's
with
my
it.
daughter.
Oh, okay.
Erica.
It's not a good thing. Her aunt passed last night.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So
Sorry, Erica.
No, I mean, I love the Jersey Shore. In 2009, 2010, when the market crashed and I closed my dealerships, I had an investment in a bar in Atlantic City, was getting divorced, and I just stayed there.
Okay. So while you were doing your dealership, you also then had a partnership in the business.
I had
That's pretty
we had actually backed the salesperson's dad who knew the bar business that really didn't know the bar business. And when the economy crashed and I got out of I was in the power sports business, I went down there and said, wow, the bar business is the same as the car business. It's marketing, it's relationships, it's getting to meet people, and I'm going through a divorce anyway. This is kind of fun. And stayed.
that's got to be a mind burner. Owning a bar, restaurant, that kind of scene. Whew, man. I can't even imagine it.
That's
You get-
nonstop
you get-
promotion, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, and
I mean,
you got to
there's-
have your
and
eyes.
a lot of competition, and
10 sets of eyes.
oh, absolutely.
Make sure you're not
the
getting
minute you're
stolen.
not there, you're
Yeah.
You'd always wanted to have a bar, if I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
correctly.
Well, I like to drink.
That would make sense.
No, it was a
You
great
did,
business.
yeah.
I learned a ton of marketing about. I learned a ton from the kids. Let's face it, we're old guys, and that's how I learned social media from the kids I hired.
Yeah.
How do you get people into your club, your bar? You're handing out flyers. You're doing things we learned from the car business, prospecting. These guys in 5 minutes would search a hashtag or search somebody, and they'd have, we're going to send a limo to the Borgata to go pick up this party at 10. I'm like, how did you get them? Oh, through Instagram. Yeah, I'm like,
What?
this is crazy. You got
Right.
to teach me this shit.
All right.
And then I just correlated to the car business and said, everything we do in the car business is this,
Right.
but we're not advanced digitally. So let's jump on board.
Right. Well, our business is the hospitality business, or it's going in that direction because customers want to be treated in a certain different way, a more unique way, a more hospitable way, if you will. And I think, and we can provide that experience for them. One of the things that drives me nuts about BDCs and so forth is that it's still the get them in.
We impose our will
Battleground.
on the customer,
Makes no
and
sense.
at this point, we can't impose our will. We can't do what we want them to do. We have to
No.
do what they want to do. And
Right.
if you do, you're going to sell a shitload of cars.
Yes. Yeah, in most cases. Now, there are those deals. There are those people that are going to come in and they want to.
Oh, they say they
do
don't
battle.
want it, but they do want to do battle. They say they don't want to. They hate it. Anytime a customer says, I don't want to do this back and forth, and you give them numbers,
Right.
they want to go back and forth.
Right.
I mean, that's just human
Right,
nature.
yeah.
We haven't trained them yet.
Right.
But
That's
but again, if you still let them lead the dance right now, you're going to do a lot of business.
I think so too. And I'd like to see a situation, and I don't know, maybe I'm just living in storybook land. That's a local place, by the way. It's pretty awesome.
Right down the street from Matt Blatt Key and Egg Harbor Township.
That's right.
1 mile away.
That's right. It is a mile away. Do you guys do business with them? Do you do any cross promotion or any stuff with them?
No.
That place is really, I can't believe they're still in business.
Isn't it
and really,
amazing?
it's better than it used to be.
I couldn't tell you. Like I said, it looks like it got lost in time.
It's awesome, man. I
You
mean,
drive by,
Drive by, it's like
it is like a mini Disney World. It is clean.
mini Disney World.
Yeah, I mean, from a cleanliness standpoint, and the way the process and the way they weave you through it, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, he has grandkids.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
No?
No, man, it ain't cheap.
There you go.
It's not cheap to go there. That's for sure. What was I saying?
Do you physically go up to the Tom's River stores and the other stores?
I spend a week in each store a month.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
And then that time is spent hands-on working
Hands-on, working with salespeople, one-on-one as groups, talking to customers, getting involved in the communities we're in, meeting people.
So when you say you're getting involved in the community like that, you're physically going out into the different businesses and
Chamber of Commerce, Rotary, whatever I can get my hands on, letting them know who we are, what we do, how we're different, colleges, just everything. I speak, I was asked last semester to do a professor asked me to come in and talk about social media to students. Well, we ended up making deals from students' parents because, the impact
felt comfortable,
I made. Right. We actually gave a vehicle to Stockton University's athletic program, to use, and we get business from it.
Nice.
It's just being involved. In fact, while I'm sitting here, I just got a text from a board member, Gilda's Club, which if anybody's not familiar with Gilda's Club, they do great work for cancer. And I'm putting together, they asked when I can meet with Gilda's Club to put a deal together with them.
All right. Now, so a lot of dealerships don't have a person such as yourself. That's I would consider you an expert. I hate the word guru, so I don't want to call you guru.
No, I like that. Listen, all you Facebook people, I am a guru.
Coby's a guru.
I called him a master.
So
Definitely not.
A lot of dealerships don't have the ability, the opportunity. Actually, they do, but they choose not to have a person such as yourself leading up the charge, if you will, with social. So a lot of salespeople are out there like, man, this sounds so good. I want to do this stuff. You got somebody in the car business. Let's just work with new hires. It's under a year, and they're struggling. They're 7, 8, 9 a month or whatever. They're 6-car Sams or whatever you want to. They're struggling. Talk to them, Coby. What can they do? Like they don't, they have a Facebook account, obviously. Who doesn't? I know one person, but that's about it. But I mean, my 90-year-old dad has a Facebook account, So I mean, talk specifically to that person or a person that can up their game. Because there's people watching right now that we know that are doing a nice job, but how can they even do more?
Do you want to wait for the customer to come to you, or do you want to go out and find the customer?
Do you want to wait for the customer to come to you?
Which isn't going to happen.
Do you want to wait to the customer to come to you?
Do you want to fight 10 other salespeople to get that one guy that drives in?
Amen.
Or do you want people coming and asking? You're posting where you eat. If you're on social media, you're posting where you eat, what you ate, what bottle you are popping at the club. How about connecting to your customers? If you don't like social media, use it for business. And the great thing about social media is you can start at any time. You could be in the car business for 10 years.
Yes.
Before I was with Matt Blatt. And again, Roy had great foresight. I mean, I give the guy, he's just such an advanced thinker. He just really is. And, I developed this for him back in the end of 2015, launched in the Egg Harbor Township store in January of 2016. Really didn't work with the other stores. But when, I had hired managers for my bars in Atlantic City, and I started doing consulting, and I had a bunch of dealers. Melvin's one of them, Marcus DeAngelis and his stores. I had the Winter Auto Group down in Delaware, and it was a growing business. And Roy and I got tired of the travel, things like that. And Roy and I talked, and he said, look, how do we bring us to the next level? He goes, I really think I need you here all the time to do it. And we talk about this a lot. And when we sat and talked, he's like, look, this is what you're making. This is what I have to pay you. If we stay at 300 to 320 cars a month, I can't afford to pay you that.
Right.
My goal is 1,000 cars. We're doing, in a year and a half, we're averaging 550. We've cut our advertising expense. We have salespeople that have seen growth that they've never even imagined,
Right.
whether they're veterans or whether they're brand new. If they follow the system and they follow the social media program for 90 days, I guarantee you they'll see deals. Plain and simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Within 90 days.
So a salesman sitting out there that's struggling that says, it's just a matter of going to work. It's nothing new. It's nothing magical. It's doing everything you have to do every day. That's posting every day. That's posting trade-ins that come in. That's doing videos. That's doing videos with your customer. That's commenting on your customer's posts, not just being self-serving and focusing on yourself, focusing on your customers.
That's a good point.
There's 3 things.
That's a good point. I don't see a lot of people. That's a really good point. Post on true engagement, no bullshit engagement, but true engagement with your client after the fact.
Right.
Post on, hey, that, happy birthday.
It's doing the phone call that you're doing the 30-day follow-up. It's doing the
right,
45-day, the 60-day, the 3-month. Instead of doing it with a phone, how about when their tags come in? I always ask salesmen, when their how about posting it right on the customer's wall saying, hey, your tags are in, I'm going to be in your neighborhood. You want me to drop them off to you? You know what? Whether they say, chances are they're going to say no. They're going to say, no, it's all right, I'll stop by.
Yeah, but
all their friends see it.
It's an ad.
And they go, hey, I bought a XYZ Mazda. My salesman hasn't even contacted me.
Yeah, he's willing
love
to,
that.
willing to
I love that. Let me drop your tags off at your home or at work.
Especially
Which
if they
would
need
you prefer?
service.
That's awesome, dude. I love that.
There's just little things like that.
The service end of the business internally with the dealership is, I'm sure, spot on. I'm sure your guys do a great job of handling customers' repair, first time, all that kind of stuff. That's something you guys market as well through this kind of, a salesperson could market.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're working on a big service video now. I came up with an idea over the weekend. Maddie and I were talking about it. I think it's going to be hysterical. Stay tuned.
Okay. Well, like I said, the videos that you've posted are fantastic. They're watchable. They make someone laugh and they're memorable. So,
Have nothing to do with cars.
No, not
For
really.
the
No,
most
they're
part, they don't
tasting
have anything to do
food.
with cars. They're spoofs. They're getting involved, cross-promoting local businesses, food challenges, things like that. And they just get a lot of attention.
Yeah. Well, that's what you want to do.
Well, that cross promotion is being in the community, sharing with the community.
Right.
That helps the mall, like you called your dealership, the mall. So that's what you guys do on.
Well,
on
that's
the
what
dealer
Facebook's doing. Did you during the game last night? I think it was the last night's game. Facebook did a bunch of ads with the fathers taking their daughters to baseball games.
I saw.
Right,
Yeah.
and
It was
tied
groups,
into
Facebook
community.
groups or something.
Yeah, join a group or
Yeah,
something like that.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're talking about.
And you
here.
kind of become the expert in your group. You don't talk about cars. They're going
Right.
to find out what you do. Just
Right.
be social. You know what? It's going to a cocktail party. If you go to a cocktail party and say, I sell cars, I sell cars, I sell cars, I sell cars, you're a bore. There's going to be some people you like at the cocktail party and can relate to. There's going to be people that you can't stand. But bottom line is, you walk into that party and that's all Facebook is. It's a barbecue, it's a party, and just be social and meet people and
That's
talk
right,
to
man.
people. And you're not going to walk up to everybody and say, hey, I sell a car. Can I sell you a car? What do you do? What are you driving? You're going to talk to them. You're going
Right.
to get to know them. You're going
Right.
to be part of their life.
Right. Ultimately,
They're gonna, it's going to come.
up.
They're going to say, hey,
Right.
by the way, what do you do? Wow,
Right.
I'm glad you asked.
Right.
I mean, it's
Right.
not, like I said, there's nothing. And that's why I don't feel bad about giving this information. Nobody's going to copy what we're doing because it's hard. It's called working hard.
Right. Well, yours is nonstop. That's probably
Mm-hmm.
a point to all this that I think gets overlooked. It's not something you can start it at any time, but I don't think you can ever stop it.
Right.
Right.
And it just grows and
Daily
grows and
habit.
grows and grows.
Yeah.
And like if I was a salesman, let's say you just drop me in, where'd you say, Perry Bluff, Montana, or whatever.
Yeah.
Drop me off there with nothing but my cell phone, not knowing anybody.
That's a six-figure job.
As a salesman, I'd go on the floor and I'd utilize Facebook.
No question.
I'd utilize social media to
That's
meet
right.
people in the area and grow my business. And I can guarantee you within 90 days, I'd be the top salesperson.
There's a girl, I'll call her a girl because I think she's, I don't know,
Is she transgender?
30-ish
Oh.
or something. And her name's Amelia something. Last name starts with an S. Real attractive.
Sapowski.
Yeah,
Big,
real-
like 6'2".
Right, real attractive. And her husband's or boyfriend, or I don't know, I forget, is a
Big jack
tech.
dude,
Right.
technician, long beard, tatted
Been in a
up.
car business, I think,
year.
just a year, and is kind of a celebrity now. I mean, I think she just switched stores, got a manager's job or something, in 12 months, and in my opinion, all due to social media.
Oh, without a doubt. But, in saying that, nothing against Amelia. I don't know how many cars she sells,
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
who has any idea how many cars she sells?
Right.
I mean, nobody knows, but to advance your career, yes. But if you want to stay in one store, what a great way to do it.
Yeah.
What a great way to promote yourself. And I highly recommend staying in one store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We've
stay where you
all learned
start,
that.
man. Boy, it's so important, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we all learned the hard way.
Right.
Or
Yeah,
I did. I don't know about you guys. but-
I totally agree with that, but you also understand how when your pay plan's getting messed around with, and
yeah,
different
there's
mess-
reasons to leave.
right? I mean,
You get a
how
shitty
how
culture,
do
you
don't
leave.
think it matters because you're
No,
Just
I totally
deal
listen.
through
if
that?
if you're in a negative environment, it's like a cancer; it spreads. But you want to find a good culture. But you don't want to just keep jumping for any reason. That's
No.
what I see a lot of people doing. They say, "Oh, well, the manager doesn't like me, so I'm going to jump to this store."
Yeah.
Well, the customers all have bad credit. The inventory sucks. The advertising doesn't bring in customers. How about just focusing on yourself, improving yourself, and then you're a store within that mall. Maybe it's a
Doesn't
shitty
matter,
mall in a
yeah.
bad neighborhood, but you've got a thriving store. Just grow yourself.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because too often, and I see it happen a lot, where, and especially in some of these groups where it's manager bashing
Oh, my God.
constantly. There's a book that you'll remember. I forget the author's name, but we actually went out and saw him. But the name of the book is Journey to a Heroic Environment. And long story short, it's about this guy thinking about switching jobs, gets on a train, and he sits down and talks to this guy, and this guy kind of talks him through it on where his current situation is not the problem. He is. And I think in the car business, that happens a lot, because there's a lot of places to point and blame. Who ordered all these white cars? Who's doing the marketing here? The managers are stupid. They all suck. And so I'm going to leave. And sometimes and then typically they're out of the business. But it's every dealership every 6 months, and it's them. We as salespeople, we have to realize that we're one of 20. He or she, the manager, has to deal with 20 knuckleheads. Well, no, out of 20, probably 3 of them are knuckleheads. And they unfortunately take the most work and time a lot of time, which is a whole nother situation where, as managers, we should probably be spending more time with the people that are producing than that the ones that are selling 3 or 4 cars a month, frankly. But man, it's not your manager. For those of you that are not managers, be manager for a day. I used to tell the recruiters, they'd bitch about Ernie and this and that. I said, you know what? And I don't know, did anyone ever
How
take
could
us up on
anybody
that?
bitch about Ernie?
It's easy, Coby.
Yeah, with what he does, it's real easy. But I said, you know what, guys? Quit bitching. I'll buy your ticket. You come up here, you sit in Ernie's chair for a frickin' week. See what he did. You do what Ernie does, and then you could bitch about
Listen,
Ernie.
I have those talk you off the ledge moments monthly, and a salesman
sure.
comes to mind just bitching that a manager's giving his brother all the bones
Right.
and taking a blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
I hate
I
that
said, well,
one.
are you doing everything you can do to be successful? He goes, what do you mean? I said, are you contacting all your customers? Are you doing Facebook Live videos? I go, and the answer, these are rhetorical. You know the answer. You can bullshit me. You can bullshit your managers. You can't bullshit yourself. Are you posting cars on Marketplace every day? Are you walking the lot?
Jeez,
are you
are they
making
doing
50
that?
cars? And I said, if the answer is to no to any of those, you have no right to question what a manager's doing.
Amen, brother.
I said, if you're doing everything right, you have all the right to go to the manager and say, I don't appreciate you giving your brother those bones. Or I don't appreciate you giving the salesman those
Right,
bones.
right.
But until you're doing all that, you have no right to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
plain and simple.
couldn't agree more. You're spot on, man.
Thank you.
So you're saying you have every salesperson individually post the inventory as well as what
They
you guys-
should.
They should.
You know,
I
again,
wonder how many
strong,
dealerships do
man.
that.
That
again,
is strong.
think about it. It's just a numbers game. Okay, the dealership posts. The dealership posts over and over again, Auto Trader, Car Gurus, Cars.com, Facebook Marketplace ads. And the customer, the person on Facebook, goes and looks at that ad and contacts the dealership, goes to the BDC hands out the lead. Well, if I'm a salesman, why wouldn't I post my own pictures?
Right.
And
Create
create
my own inventory, right?
and
Yeah,
post
makes
legally.
sense.
Don't bullshit the customer. Don't put $1,000 on a car that's $20,000. Just instead of trying to sell the car, sell the appointment. You know, bottom line is post cars to create a conversation, to get that question asked, do you have more pictures? And then go out on the lot, get the customer's number or do it through Facebook message and take the time to build a rapport with that customer. It's a live up. You know, it's a virtual up. Take advantage of
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, it's better than a phone up because that communication.
right.
Interesting. So they're so it's pretty cool then being a salesperson in a way in that you're not paying for that inventory.
You're not paying for
right?
that
That's
inventory.
never changed in this
Right.
industry. But
No,
yet you can market it as if it's yours.
Tell you what, you got to have very specific, very focused, very passionate goals right now to want to become a manager rather than a salesperson. I think you make a
opportunity-
lot
listen,
of money selling cars.
The opportunity, this is the best time in the car business. I hear
Yeah.
guys crying and saying, this is the best time
right,
ever
man.
in the car business.
You're so right. There is no better time.
Yeah.
There's never been a better time.
I have the
than right now.
opportunity to speak to as many or as little people as I want to in a day, where before I'd have to sit at, when Ernie and I got in the business, you put your name on a board with 50 other people.
Yeah,
and if you were at the top of the board and you got a brochure customer coming in, you were
Tough
done
luck.
for the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you were
That
done
was
for the
hard.
day and you
Sorry about
waited
your
for
luck.
Saturday.
Yep.
I mean, our pay plan's great. Our pay, we actually pay for social media. If you
Really?
the way you post, you get paid.
Get out.
Yeah, I mean that's how valuable Roy feels it is. You know, and so I look at it as marketing money.
Yeah,
If I'm
is
going to
you-
give you to market yourself, give you money to market yourself, why wouldn't you?
I probably should know this. I don't. But is your pay plan, is it commission based or salary based? Combination thereof?
It's
incentives?
unit based, and
Unit-based.
product based.
Okay, so X amount of units gets you paid X amount of dollars a car, and then levels, and then retroactive, right? Or
Yeah,
something like
and
that.
bonuses and different levels.
Right.
And the thing about it is people go, "Oh, I want to get paid commission." Well, you are getting paid commission.
You are.
You just are. I mean,
Right.
our average per deal is probably higher than the national average.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And the dealer statement, you can guarantee it's a percentage
Exactly.
of the revenue.
Right.
Or the
I
gross,
mean,
so.
and the salespeople, listen, our salespeople, knockwood, make a ton of money.
Good.
The one, I mean, a 10-car a month salesman makes a ton of money. A 20-car, a 30-car makes ridiculous money for the industry.
A 20-car a month salesman have the potential at a six-figure income at your stores?
You're well over that. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
That's-
Seriously.
Wow. That's not typical across the industry.
No, it's
No.
not.
No. So and how do you afford to do that? Why do you guys afford to do that and others aren't willing to do that?
Repeat and referrals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing their service absorption is probably pretty strong. I'm assuming their F&I is very strong. I'm assuming their used car operation is probably spot on.
We're a one-price used car store.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
one-price used
unusual.
car store.
Roy is a genius.
I mean, he is. And our process.
Well, that's interesting.
I mean, it really
Yes.
is. We don't have turnover. I mean, we rarely do you see,
But
people
you're-
fire themselves.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
nobody gets fired. You have an opportunity to make a lot of money and build a home with
Yeah.
somebody that actually cares about you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what seems to be, that family really does,
They're
from
amazing.
an owner standpoint, they really
Yes,
do
times
care
for
about
Roy.
their team. And that's, not that that's,
And this
we
is
have a lot of customers like that. I mean, a lot of dealers we deal with.
I know
but-
we do, but that's why I was hoping maybe one day, like, you come back with Roy and his sons. I mean, think of this:
Right.
his sons are
Right.
now running stores.
Right.
You know, I met Roy 30 years ago, and I'm thankful that I did because that environment that we started in really got myself and everybody else that was involved there off to the right foot.
Yeah.
And you know, it was kind of neat too that we had those. Remember the McGuires?
Roy and I still joke about it. We just had a guy come in and talk about compliance, you know, because it's such a big buzzword now. And Roy and I are both like, man, that's like Joe McGuire. He's like, very,
McGuire's
very robotic.
Like from Bordentown?
No, not Bob McGuire.
Yeah,
that's
no.
a whole nother.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother family.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, these were consultants that were hired and came in and
He was the
Were
original
they from
consultant.
Ohio by any chance?
No, Alabama.
yeah, they're south.
New York, actually, originally.
Okay.
New York City. Joe McGuire was originally New York City, but you can probably
And then
YouTube
his
him.
daughter.
He had his daughter Joanne and his son Pat.
I don't remember.
They
that.
were like, have you seen the HBO show? What's the new HBO show with Danny McBride and what the hell's the name of it?
No, I don't-
Gemstones.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's a
Is that
new
good?
show about TV evangelists with John Goodman plays the father, and then he's got
Oh.
and they're TV evangelists, and they're just making money over, and that was the McGuires. They just they're like a rolling carnival show. They just go from town to town, and it was back in the day before Joe used to have the VHS tapes of him training, and he'd come in and train us, and
Who do you get all the vendor calls? Who gets the vendor calls?
we
at your
all
store?
do.
That's got to be.
You know how many vendor calls
number one.
you know how many I'm going to get from doing this podcast?
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous.
What are they going to ask you to do?
Hey, I got
Yeah,
the greatest,
sell this,
shiniest
sell
new
that.
thing, blah, 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 blah. I actually had, and I'm not trying to sound, I'm not going to mention his name, but he reached out a few months ago, said, hey, I really like what you guys are doing on social media. You're everywhere. You own the market. I'd really like to, do something with you guys. I said, what do you do? He goes, social media. I said, well, how'd you find out about me? And he goes, well, you guys are everywhere. I go, then what do I need you for?
Right.
Like,
Right.
and we try and do everything in-house so we can focus on, that way
Right.
we can get better. We don't rely on other people. We
Right.
don't, we try and learn ourselves.
Yeah. I don't know if you can discuss this or how much you want to discuss this, but I'm assuming with another generation in charge, I'm assuming the 3 stores isn't the final destination here. Or am I correct in
know.
assuming that?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, because I would think a group like that, you guys would be buying whatever's available that makes sense down the road. You would
Well,
think.
hopefully the economy starts, we keep going up and the economy starts going down and we continue to rise. That would be prime to buy other
You
stores.
bet. Yeah, you bet. Well, the stock market's down 120 points or something. So.
It's just one day.
We look at making what we have now the best.
Well, and that started right from his Matt Blatt used vehicles.
Yeah, take what you have now and make it the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how he
I mean,
parlayed it into.
Yeah,
I mean,
stay in your lane till you're
We're
right.
not at capacity yet. I
Yeah.
mean, we're not even close to
Right.
capacity.
Well, you mentioned before the podcast started, you thought you were at 40% of what you could do, I think is what you said. And
I was referring to
and
social media.
Right. But
your unit
however, that
production.
equates to the number. At 100%, that'll put you at the number he wants to be at 1,000, right? So,
That's what we continue to talk about. I
Right.
think 1,000's a realistic number
right.
for us.
And why aren't you there right now? Why can't you? You have enough people. Or
No,
do
we
you?
really don't. I mean, we operate really a small crew, and we get a lot done with not a lot of people. That's why it's tough to do like these podcasts and things
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
because we're all in the store working.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're working.
Yeah.
Matt's working deals. He's at a desk.
Jeez,
AJ's
seriously.
working deals. AJ called me. I was supposed to be in Egg Harbor Township this week. AJ's like, "Can you come to Glassboro?" I got one of our sales managers is at Dealer Academy, and another one's took a 2-day vacation.
They send
Like,
managers to NADA?
Yeah. Hmm.
Wow.
That's what I've talked about.
Wow.
That's how you grow. You learn.
Roy has always spent
That's the
money
right
on
way.
training.
That's the right way to run an automobile dealership, ladies and
It's
gentlemen.
great culture.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's strong. When a dealer's sending his
I'm surprised
people,
AJ's not texting me now going, hurry up and get here. Stop playing around.
yeah, right. Yeah. All this bourbon and cigars sitting in front of you. It's like, gee whiz. Yeah, that's interesting that everyone's that engaged, that involved. I guess it's again to reiterate Dave Anderson's thing. It's not redundant, so it's perfect. And you guys
I do have a question.
keep doing the same things.
With you're saying that you're not as staffed as I guess you're talking in sales.
Sales and management.
Okay, is there a day when you would have people being salespeople that quote unquote work from home that don't actually even? Can you foresee something like that? Is
No.
that you don't? That's not a viable option.
No. I mean, I don't know how they would.
Well, if everything's social and they're doing all that,
Work
and
from
creative.
home and build appointments and stuff.
Yeah,
You still need.
yeah.
You're still gonna have traffic. You have a brick and mortar store. It would be like having, the Gap and people just ordering offline, which happens a lot.
Right.
Okay, but you still have that brick and mortar store that you have to have somebody to wait on those people coming in, and that's how you grow too. Because if you have people making those connections with the people that are walking in the store, and then you can connect with their friends, you just have people keep rising and rising and rising, and then you have the new salespeople taking the fresh ups.
Okay, then so
Right.
we get the argument. Well, you laugh
Right.
about it.
Right.
Well, I only have so many desks because there's only going to be so much space within a store, right?
Uh-huh.
So how do you fill that store then with salespeople?
Well, you have that answer.
Well, I do, but here's what.
The answer is what we did at Carden. We shared desks. You share it all. You make do. You do what you have to do to, you adapt, you improvise. I mean, give me that problem every day.
Yeah.
I have a friend, a very, very close friend. I'll give him a little plug. Not that he needs it. He owns a restaurant in Atlantic City, Chef Ola. They've been there.
Unbelievable.
Again, they've been there since the early 1920s. It's in a basement of a house. It seats
If you
basically
get
50
invited to
people.
eat there, folks.
Their phone number's unlisted. They're
Right.
all consistently James Beard Award winners, ranked top 10 restaurants in the country all the time. And he, again, I said, anytime he complains to me, I go, your inventory is spoken for before you get to work that week.
Yeah.
You have no inventory.
Yeah.
And that's the position every car dealer should want to be in, that
Yeah.
you know that everything's spoken for, and that's how you can grow.
Yeah.
That's how you can grow your business.
I was one night I was there having dinner, and I was standing outside smoking a cigarette, and these people come by and goes, "Is that Chef Folis?"
Yeah, there's no sign.
Right? Yeah, because there's no. It's just it literally is an old house, and I mean, there is like zero ambiance, folks. I mean, they have plastic vines going through the seal. I mean, it's like, but the food is sick. It's sick. I mean, these people are like, "What's it like in there? What is it? Is it that good?" And it's like, yeah, it's that good. And it's like, and like you said, there's no sign, there is no phone number, and you basically, literally need to
have to
know
know
somebody to.
I mean, it's
Get
changed
invited-
with the advance of
Little
the
bit,
internet.
yeah,
People
right.
put the phone number on stuff
Right,
like that. But
right.
years and years ago, if
Right.
you were to call and
Yeah.
they did this purposely. They
Right.
let the phone
Brilliant.
stay busy. They take the phone off the hook. They connect it to a fax machine. And their
Yeah.
philosophy was, if you jump
Brilliant.
through hoops to get to them,
Yeah.
you're going to show up for your reservation.
right.
And they
Brilliant.
count on your reservation.
Brilliant.
And if you did get somebody that answered and you say, yeah, Coby told me, I'm a friend of Coby's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I used to crack up. Lou, the owner, would go, well, how do you know Coby? What are his kids' names? What color are his eyes? Yeah, you don't know. Yeah.
Is that right?
He would have called me if he wanted to get you a reservation. Goodbye.
Well, the only way I supposedly got there, because Glenn knew one of the kids.
Okay.
It was supposedly the only reason we were allowed to eat there. Well, I mean, what a way to have a business. Like, how would you like to have a car dealership like that?
I know. It would be a
Right?
dream.
Yeah, man.
Lou says if he ever gets out of the restaurant business, he's going to come sell cars at Matt Blatt.
Is that right?
He loves what we do.
Really? That's awesome.
In fact, we're next Thursday. We're heading. Him and I and Roy and Roy's brother Ryan are heading out to California. We're just
Wine?
little guys. Now, Angels. Well, again, we were going to see Mike. Mike Trout actually invited Lou and told him to bring some friends. And now Mike Trout gets injured. He's not even playing.
Yeah, he's done for the year.
done
I
for
guess
the
it's
season.
the hell, it's his
Broke
foot.
his foot.
Yeah,
Yeah, so he's getting
I
surgery.
heard this morning.
Oh, that's rough.
It was
That's a
announced,
bummer,
announced
man.
yesterday. Again, Angels weren't going anywhere anyway,
No.
but Mike Trout's one hell of a guy.
What a shame, man.
Yeah.
See, this guy's prime years with that organization, with all the money they have, where they're located, it's shame on them. Absolutely.
But they haven't
shame
added
on
more
them.
talent around him.
Oh, it's just absolute shame on them. they should have traded his ass. That
He didn't
just
want to be
ridiculous.
traded. It seems like
Well, the contract he got, I wouldn't
yeah.
want
Well,
to
that's what I mean.
either.
Well, yeah.
Phillies would have gave him that or more.
Yankees would
yeah.
love him.
Yeah.
He would be the greatest of all time.
Yeah, well, everyone would recognize how
And
talented
he's a real person.
That's
too.
what
What's
what I
crazy
hear.
is he eats dinner. He's at Chef Ola, and if my kids are there, most leave them alone. He's like, yeah, bring them over. I'll sign
no
balls. I'll
kidding.
do. He's he's just a real person.
Where was he actually
Millville.
originally from? Millville.
Millville. He's one of the Millvillionaires.
Was he was he like, oh my God, superstar in high school?
They
or-
said they knew by like 10, 11 years old that this kid was going to be
Seriously?
a stud.
No kidding.
Yeah, like I've heard stories about people just seeing him playing ball as a kid, like Little League, people going to watch him.
No shit.
Yeah, he was amazing then.
Like LeBron when he was a
Yeah,
kid.
exactly.
Yeah. I'm originally from Ohio, and my kids still lived there when LeBron was growing up, and it was like a real phenomenon.
I'm sure.
It was insane.
There's so many kids like that now because of social media.
That's right, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You see a
there's
lot of
so-
kids dunk on YouTube right now, man, doing these ridiculous, crazy things. How old are your kids?
I have an older daughter. I have a stepdaughter with my Colombian girlfriend, and then two sons. They're 16 and 14.
16 and 14.
Freshman and junior.
They involved in sports at all?
The 14-year-old is. The 16-year-old is very good athlete, just very cerebral. Is about making money and hustling. And
Really? Awesome.
Just said, I'm not going to go anywhere in the pros, so I'm going to focus on business. And,
Good.
yeah, he's vice president of the DECA. He's been to nationals, as a
At
sophomore.
16?
As a sophomore. This year, again, he went to nationals his sophomore year, went to states his first year. And his thing is automotive marketing. Like
No way.
Yeah, he's
Sound
talked to
under
Roy
Northfield,
already.
man.
No,
Or Northwood, rather.
He's talked to Roy already about coming in, when he graduates and getting involved in the car business.
Good on
He
you.
loves it.
Good job.
Yeah, he's awesome.
That's cool.
Like he's working on different. Like-
Will he go to college?
Absolutely.
Oh, you will.
I don't encourage it or discourage it. I don't think it's really necessary. But
neither do I.
We've talked about that.
yeah,
Yeah. I have 529. How many grandkids do I have now? 5. And I got 529 set up for all of them. And it's like, and I want to do the right thing. But it's like, I really don't, you guys don't have to go to college. But,
I mean, my
certain things
youngest
you have to-
son is basketball. I mean, his whole life is basketball. He plays for 2 AAU teams. He's ridiculous. But again, going back to college, do you need it now? I mean, you could have a kid that's
Depends
an
what you get
entrepreneur,
into.
has that entrepreneur spirit, can go to a bank and not get a loan at 18 with a great idea. Want
Yep.
a $10,000 loan to start up something,
Right.
but the government the banks will let them sign for $200,000 at 9% interest to go to college.
Insane.
It is.
Yeah.
But again, now
Absolutely
we're going to
insane.
get political, and I don't want to go down that
Oh, we
rabbit
can.
hole.
I don't care. I don't give a
No,
shit.
I do. People listening, maybe customers. I don't want to piss anybody off.
Yeah. That's right. We will piss off 50%
Exactly.
of the people. However, I did watch the Democratic debate the other night. That was good entertainment.
And Ocean City High School, huh?
My 2 boys are at Shawnee,
Oh.
and Lena's daughter is
Oh,
at
that
Ocean
okay.
City High School.
Okay, that's Shawnee,
Melvin
that's where you
Rodriguez
went.
said the hardest part of the car business right now is finding people to work.
Yeah. You know what? Melvin and I talk about that daily.
Yeah. It is a challenge. Unfortunately, it's still the mindset, well, I guess I could always sell cars. Nothing else worked out for me in life. I guess I could become a car salesman. I don't want to be. But
Is
I
it
guess
still
I could
that
be.
way?
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. We deal with it. We get the starting number that we start with, Coby, for every deal is ridiculous. The number of people the applications that we get, and then what we ultimately deliver to the dealer is 10%.
Oh, I know
I mean,
personally.
it's insane.
I'm going to hold that thought again. It's another.
Yeah,
I
go
broke
ahead.
the seal.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're
Unfortunately.
with you.
What happens, folks, is that people, and actually one of our, Danielle's going to, Ernie, really get into video that I've been bugging her
Yeah.
about. She's going to really start doing something. She even got a name for it here. I forget, but she texted it to me. But what was my point? Oh, about the numbers of people and
That we start with for
Yeah.
a dealer, the number of volume of applicants
Yeah.
we get.
yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's like it's just outrageous, and it's some people. I think it evidently they'll just sit there in their jammies and go on one of the sites, Google sales jobs or whatever. They find our ad and they just start clicking. Resume. They do 20 or 30 and then they're done for the night. And then because of our process and we're on our game, we get back to them and they're almost like shocked.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, well,
Did I actually even apply for that?
yeah,
I'm not.
Oh no, I don't want to sell cars. Well, that's what you just applied for. Oh well, sorry, my bad. But I would never want to sell cars. So I mean, it's like you so badly want to say, okay, so you have other prospects where you can make $100,000 a year, meet a bunch of people, and not have to get physically dirty doing it, and not have to lie, cheat, or steal, and have an opportunity for a six-figure job, not have to go to college, not have to finish college. So you have better options than that. I mean, I so bad want to say that. It's like it's crazy.
You were also talking about, and Coby, you were saying the hardest part is people don't want to work. I know you've offered what seem like really good suggestions is to find out their why.
Yeah.
What's in it for them. What are they
Right.
trying to accomplish? I would think would draw that out. I'm going to ask Coby when he gets
Oh, that's
back.
a good idea. Yeah.
What have they done within their dealership? Because he said they have very little turnover.
Right.
They just need to add more people.
Right.
But at the same time, he's somewhere in that they're finding people that they do get hired that
Right.
aren't working out.
Right.
So
Right. And to those of you that are managers or dealers that are listening to this or watching this right now, here's my take on it. Look at whatever the number is. 67%, Cox says, NADA says 76% in terms of salesperson turnover in 12 months. Whatever the number is, it's too high. And I know other industries have turnover as well. It's just a given. That's just the way that it is. However, it doesn't have to be that high. And to speak to what you just mentioned is finding out their why. Look, I got zero issue if I'm running a store to hire a person that really has a different why than becoming a professional automobile salesperson. If their why is whatever, owning a dress shop or a garage or whatever it is, they want to own something. And what Coby was talking about earlier about go to the bank, borrow the money, this and that, is if you sit down with a salesperson or any team member, any employee, it doesn't matter the position in the dealership, and find out what their true why is, what their real passion is. Find out what it is, write it down, how much is it going to cost. Why aren't you doing that now? Well, I don't have the money. Great. Well, how are you going to get the money? Well, I was hoping selling cars will get the money. Okay, well, selling cars and selling 6 a month ain't going to get it, pal. So let's do this together. All right, so how much money do you need? Well, let's see. I need $300,000 to do this thing right. Okay, so here's kind of the way it works. You're going to have to come up with half, and then you go to the bank and say, look, I got half. I got 100.5. I need 100.5 from you. Your credit doesn't suck. Chances are you get the $300,000, and you're in your passion, your real why, what you want to do for a living. So let us, the dealership, be the bank to help finance what your true why is. Now, some car dealers are going to go, well, Craig, you're talking about turnover here. No, here's what I'm talking about. If you got a 6-a-month person creating $8-10 a month in gross or whatever they're doing for you, okay, if you can turn that person into doing 20 a month, or as Coby cited a couple where they've gone from 15 to 30 to 35 a month. At 35 a month, you're talking about $750,000 or more in gross profit, probably close to $1 million in gross profit. Look I'm not telling this girl to leave, but what I'm saying is using that as an example, there's a person that if I can get 2 years out of that person, okay, when that 2 years is up, one of two things are going to happen. He or she has collected enough money now to chase their true passion, and they say, hey, Craig, thank you so much, man. I owe this all to you. I love you guys. I'll send everybody I know here. Now, you own their customers because they've gotten out of the business. All right? So unless you're stupid, you own those customers. And they go about their business. Now, during that time, he or she has created $2 million. They've given you $2 million. Okay, so I'm going to make that trade all day long. If you can guarantee me, just put a whole line of people in front of me, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, whatever, and you guarantee to me that, hey, this guy's only going to be here 2 years, Craig. Matter of fact, all 10 of these people are only going to be here 2 years max. But they're gonna put $750,000 or $1 million worth of gross profit into the till every year, and you get to keep their customers when they leave. Sign my ass up. Or at the end of that 2 years, they're going to say, "Screw that! I thought I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur now, and I ain't paying for nothing, and I'm making $1.50 or $200,000 a year. I ain't going nowhere, Craig. Don't fire me, man. I'm staying here. You know what I'm saying, Ernie?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, we're kind of talking about,
When you were walking out, you were saying one of the challenges was that
hiring.
Well, and people don't want to work.
People don't want to work.
And so we were talking about finding the why.
No, and look at what the car
The real
business is.
motivation.
You're really a partner. You have somebody paying for your inventory, your advertising, your brick and mortar, your product, your
Everything,
phone,
dude.
your desk, your printing, your office staff doing all your paperwork, and all your investment is time.
Yep.
Time and your marketing, getting people to know who you are, what you do, why you do it, where you do it, and how you do it differently. It's such an easy, you'd think it would be an easy sale, to a kid coming out of college or a kid, but for some reason, that's
Still
the
the-
question of the ages.
Yeah.
The
Well,
image, right? The image of a car salesperson still hasn't.
The things that I did when I first started out, and I started out before you guys because I am a couple months older than you two.
You
But I
can't
mean-
tell,
Right, yeah.
nice shine on the face,
Right.
tan going on.
Yeah.
Right. So
Handsome man, isn't he?
Finally moosed hair.
looking good never goes out of style.
There it is.
So, but almost everything that we did when I sold cars is illegal today. I mean, like literally. Back then it was process. But almost everything is literally illegal today. So consequently, when you're in that kind of industry and have been run that way for, a zillion years, it's hard to break out of that. I mean, you said it. There's never been a better time to be in the automobile business. And that's not bullshit either. That's real.
No.
That's real truth. So for those of you that, and we do have people that aren't in the business listening, you really should look into it. It can be, you will get, in one of the very few businesses that this can happen, you will get out of the automobile business in exact proportion to what you put into it. So if you're not a jerk off, if you're a decent human being and willing to put in a few hours, learn your product, learn social media, the proper way to do it. It's just not a bunch of cats or dog pictures, although I do love dogs. Matter of fact, my dog trainer is going to be in here next week.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
going to be cool.
You had you're expressing the optimism of the business, what it is to be the auto sales. So you have no concerns, let's say, of some of the outside third party companies that are now
Like
coming
Carvana.
in. Yeah, things
I
like
welcome them.
that. Because it makes you look better because of the service
Here's
you're
what I'm
able to
going to tell
provide.
you. Next time you want your kid's little league team sponsored, see what Carvana says. That's where dealers
There you go.
can lead. Being involved in the community, being
It should
social.
never that dealer base should never leave this earth. Right?
I mean, listen, Carvana doesn't do anything that we haven't been doing for 25 years.
Right.
There's nothing. They market themselves well.
That's was going to be my point.
Yeah, I mean, they're great at marketing themselves. Well, listen, I wish Carvana would open up a vending machine next door to us. It would just build our business.
Yep.
I mean, I know it would build our business. That would be the most amazing thing that could happen. People don't think that way. Competition builds business. And if you do things better, why not?
Yeah, you have.
There's
you can do
zero-
full service. They can't.
Right.
There's absolutely nothing that Carvana does that we can't do
That we
at
don't
any
already do.
dealership. And that in some cases we're already doing. There's really no reason. It does piss me off. BDCs do piss me off of the get them in thing. That mentality really does piss me off. Why are we not going to the customers? Is it a safety issue? Or what? Why aren't we, as salespeople, as dealerships, taking cars to where they work, taking cars to their home? Why aren't we doing that universally?
To show them the vehicle.
Again, realize that buy online is still less than a 5% segment of the car business,
right?
Of the automotive business. So it's not that, although it's a lot globally,
right,
and the world's become global, most customers want to come into the car because it gives them a reason to leave too.
Yeah, well, that's true.
The only reason we're not selling them is something we did. Okay, so if they're coming to the dealership, we did something wrong because they're there to buy.
Yeah.
And Carvana I'll deliver a car to you.
Well,
if
that's
you
what-
want to
right,
fill out
right.
I mean, go on our website. We do everything Carvana does.
Right.
Nobody's taking us up on it, but
Isn't that weird?
yeah. I mean, once in a while we do a few a month, but nothing.
Right.
Nothing huge.
So you aren't seeing people that process of buying online fully. That's not happening.
I still think the human touch is the most important thing. And when I say human touch, I do mean social media because even though it's a virtual human touch. People still like, hey, Ernie, you're my friend. I want to take care of you.
Right.
People say they don't. They want to, get rid of that experience of going in the car. It's really fear that they're going into. And Carvana does a great job of taking away that fear. You just pull a lever and the car comes down and you drive away in it.
Right.
Okay, we can do the same thing.
Right.
Just pay what I'm asking for it, and then we don't have to worry about anything.
That's right, man. That's fact.
Listen, the customer knows the interest rate. They know what their trade's worth. This is the information age. I can shop you 100 times in less than a minute.
Right.
So you have to average, people say it's the race to the bottom. No, I think it's the race to the best. Like you have to be a people person. You have to be a marketer.
Right.
You have to,
Right.
You're not going to hold the ridiculous grosses as, clobbering people because other dealers aren't letting you.
Right.
But if you build relationships, you're not just selling you.
Right.
You're selling all your friends. You're
Correct.
selling all your relatives. And we're in a time right now where
it's easy to do.
30, 40 years ago, we didn't do it. We talked about doing it. But
Yes.
now you can actually
Right.
do it.
Right.
I have connections to all your people. Everybody that's in
right.
your phone, I know now.
Correct.
And they know me because I sold you a car.
Right. Exactly right.
I don't have to wait for you to say, hey, Joe, you should go see my friend Coby, my guy in the car business. That still happens, but I have access to them.
Selling at a high volume is never going to be a bad thing. It just creates additional opportunities. Right. The more people that go into the finance office, the better off you are. The more trade-ins you take in, the better off you are. The more people that come into your service department, the better off that you are, if you have your act together in those three positions. And that's only going to be done through volume. Now, I don't like the fact that if it's a fact, because it came from Cox, so I'm not sure their data is a little goofy maybe, but, average $750 loss per new car sold is their statistic that I read last week. I don't know how you can operate consistently on a $750
Again, that doesn't even
loss.
make sense.
Right. Right. It does not make sense.
Yeah.
Now that's just talking about the sale of the car, not F&I, and not used in there too. They're talking about new car sales, but so I don't know.
I look at companies like that. Cox, especially, to me, is the devil. They're and you see
Brutal,
they just
Yes.
pulled a $350 million investment in a car company.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I mean, they're like the evil Axis,
They are, man.
I won't argue.
and they're just pushing us down and down
Right.
and down and pulling customers out. And then,
Right.
look, they own our data. too.
That's
I know.
the data. They have acquired all of that.
And that's
It's
why
our fault.
we try and
It's the dealer's fault.
We try and deal with as little amount as vendors as possible because we
Yeah.
want to data mine our own stuff.
That's right. Right. That's where it's all at, man.
Is a lot of your day spent then almost like a sales manager for you personally in your job by having to have one-on-ones about the social, what a person's doing social? You don't get into their close a sale, or
I will. I mean,
I know you're capable of it. But
It's more of a coaching job.
yeah,
I look at stats. I look at stats every week, every day, and say, okay, why did you post on this customer? And I'll text them in the middle of the night. I'll say, why did you post on that customer? Why did you post when I see the customers on Facebook is very active on their Facebook, and you had an opportunity to do a Facebook Live video with them? What happened? So I'm watching all this.
You're inspecting what you
I'm like,
expect,
the omniscient. I'm, I'm saying,
Right.
why didn't you do this? What
Right.
could you have done? And I'll take a social media TO. I'll do it today. I'll do it today. The salesman will go, no, the customer doesn't want to do Facebook. They said they don't want any parts of it. Well, why? Oh, they want to keep things private. And I'll go talk to the customer and I want to keep things private. Really? Where are you planning on hiding your car? Are you parking around the corner and taking Uber to work? I mean, everybody's going to know you had the car that's on social media.
Right. All we're asking
Yeah.
is
All we're asking is if you
That's
had
so
a good
cool.
experience or a bad experience.
Right.
I love the bad experiences because it gives us it's a teaching moment. I'm not going to call out the salesperson, but we got Saturday. I got
This is so good.
a Facebook message on our page about how he was ignored by 6 salespeople on the lot, and one salesperson in particular was just texting while he was walking around. He's already a Kia customer, and his lease is up, and he can't believe, and he reached out. I said, that's such a great teaching moment. I mean, that's the power now. Before, what he would have done was left and told everybody
Bitch.
he knew how
Right.
bad we sucked.
Right.
Now he contacted me immediately, and within a minute,
right.
I had him back in the door. And had somebody in contact with him and apologized and said that's not the experience you want. So people worry about the negativity of social media or the bad reviews. Bad review is the greatest thing ever right
Yeah.
now because you don't have to solve the problem. You just have to show that you care and you're empathetic and you want to solve the problem. You can't
Right.
solve everybody's problem, but you can
Right.
try.
Right.
And before it was, I'm going to tell everybody I know. I'm going to drive my car through your front effing window. I'm going to call my lawyer. I'm going to do
Right.
this. Now they get home and they just
Yeah.
on their keyboard
Yelp
and they're going,
and
you guys
the
suck
elevator.
and blah, 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 blah. I look at that as an opportunity. 'Cause
And then
you can
who
turn that
who
person
typically
around.
handles that? And you or the
Anybody that
salesperson?
sees it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, everybody should. Everybody should be paying attention to that.
That's interesting. That's good, I think. That's really good. Keeping everybody in so-called empowering everybody to be able to do that. I love that. That's really a good decision to make because it's. Oh man, that's strong. See, because otherwise it's contrived. When you get a bad or less than perfect review, if it's just one person singing the same message every time, it's too contrived. It's not real, I think. That's really good that everyone's involved in that.
A lot of
Coby, I
times
think.
you want to delete it. I
right.
welcome it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, hey, there's a
Yeah,
challenge.
that's an
Let's
opportunity.
fix it.
Right.
Yeah, because everyone else is watching. You know,
And they're watching
how are
to
they
see
going to
how you
handle this
fix it.
problem?
Well, wasn't that a business philosophy for some companies? Create a problems that you can overcome, and when the customer did, you're a hero. So
Yeah.
it's a different take on it, but
Yeah. We had a little different issue with that years ago. Our competitors would pretend that they were customers.
Always.
It was
Well, yeah, but they- yeah.
we had to take them to court.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was bad.
I mean, I look at some of these guys that just fight with everybody on social media, and I learned the hard. I got sucked into one of the battles once with a vendor, and Roy was great too. Roy's like, why are you even entertained? Why are you even involved? Like, just let him go on his way. I go, well, I don't like the way he talks to people. And Roy's like, who cares? And he's right.
it'll go
Like,
away on
Yeah.
its own.
Yeah, I
Yeah, they do.
The social media battles.
Yeah.
They literally last 30 seconds
Yeah.
if you ignore them.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Especially with a vendor.
And it's moving so fast. Social media makes the world move so fast. It's moving seconds, so
That's right.
it's already gone.
Well, that's the thing. What's there today is gone tomorrow.
Right. The life
Gone in
cycle.
an hour.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, if even
3,000 things on your news feed in the time that you and I
Right,
have a
just-
problem.
Right. Especially on Twitter. Have you figured out how to sell cars on Twitter yet? Or can you sell cars on Twitter?
Absolutely.
I don't think you can.
We don't focus on it because,
Yeah.
again, Twitter's such a small, Facebook's here.
Yeah.
Instagram is it has 25% of the reach that Facebook has, and Twitter is about 2%. I mean, I don't know the exact number, but there's ways you can search hashtags, things like that. We just really
Right.
don't. Again, it's low hanging fruit. You only have a certain amount of time in a day. You only have a
Right.
certain amount of things you can do. So our focus is Facebook.
Right. Are you set up with what are the multi-posting apps? What are those stupid things called?
Like Hootsuite. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
No. Like I said, we hired a girl out of college.
Yeah.
And as a
That's
content writer, we feed her stuff. She's real good at cutting stuff up, and
Okay.
she makes sure she posts, and
Right.
across all platforms every day.
Individually. Right.
Yeah, and answers, and anybody's responsible for it. Anybody that's an admin on any of our dealership pages has the ability to answer and converse and engage and
Oh, good. Okay.
talk back and forth. So everybody kind of takes that on. But again, my biggest focus is the salespeople.
Right.
Just getting the salespeople bought in and just constantly. Because again, if you can have the dealership and we can talk to her blue in the face. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, "Hey, what's going?" I'm a fan of Matt Blatt Kia. I don't wake up in the morning and go, "What's going on with Matt Blatt?" But I do wake up in the morning and say, "What's going on with Suzette?" Oh, Suzette's kids ran a race in college and they won, and Suzette commented on, the anniversary dinner I had with my wife.
There you go.
That's who I care about.
There you go. That's the key.
As dealers go forward, then, is the position that you have with Roy, will that be a newly created position, do you think, in dealerships going forward? Because it's beyond something that a sales manager is responsible for.
Do I think dealers will do it? Roy and I, literally, we have this conversation because when Roy goes to these dealer meetings or things like that and they see our growth, they go, "How are you doing it?" Roy says social media, and they're like, that's bullshit.
No way.
At the 20 groups.
Yeah, the 20 groups, the factory groups, that's bullshit, blah, 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 blah. So it's funny, I went out and presented, our plan to a group of 34 dealers back in, I guess, February at this point. So far, only one dealer's done anything with it. And I'll give them props. It's the Jim Shorkey Auto Group. Shorkey's,
that's a really good
client
customer.
of ours.
They're the best. I mean, Mike
They're
Engel.
growing.
That is how
Shorkey,
that is how we got their group, because Jim was friends with Roy. That's how Roy, so we were doing business
is
with
that
Jim,
right?
and that's how Roy circled back and had us come
And
in.
Matt
the one
reached
time.
out to me,
Yeah.
and then I spoke at a 20 group where the son, what the heck's the son?
AJ or Matt?
Matt. He's the CFO, right? Young kid, real sharp.
No.
It's Shorkey?
At Shorkey.
Shorkey.
Oh, it's Matt Maranovich. However he says his name.
Maranovich.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
was,
brother-in-law.
Yeah, right. I was at a 20 group in, where was that? Tahoe. And he was there. And he was like,
No, the thing is, and they all go, "Wow!" When you show them the actual numbers, they go, "Holy shit! Wow, we're going back." They're texting. They're going back to the store.
they
They're
do
all
a nice job, don't you think?
I'm saying the
Social-
dealers. I'm saying
That he's
the,
presented to.
the dealers I present. They're all going to do it. We're coming back to the store. Here's AJ calling right now. We're all coming back to the store. We're going to do it.
Yeah,
And
they don't.
none of them do it.
Right.
I mean, listen, we have a hard enough time making sure everybody does it.
And those
so-
are decision makers that you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Is it what's it can't be fear? Well, fear of the unknown, or just not.
It's hard work.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Or, again, not believing in it.
Maybe. They get back to the store and they got nine pressing
things going on.
quote unquote.
It's thinking
pressing
about
problems.
today and not thinking,
Probably.
we need deals today. We need deals. What are we doing
Right.
to make deals today? And
Right.
finding someone that's willing to do it.
Right.
Roll up their sleeves and get dirty and doing it. You can't ask a sales manager to do it. You can't ask, a general manager to do it. They have a lot of, like I said, it goes back to Roy's foresight, that we just see that that's our future and investing in it.
Yeah.
Dealers
He's
should.
right.
I mean,
That's
dealers
what I
really
was,
should.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to overcome all the other negativities that surround the business, this is a great way to market yourself. But it's a continual effort. Is what you're saying.
And like I said, in Gary Vee, go back to Gary Vee, he says it perfectly. He goes, he'll give his content, he'll give you the playbook for free.
Yes.
He knows
Well, he
that
does.
99% of the people that are sitting and listening to him are going to walk out and do nothing about it.
Correct.
So he doesn't worry about competition.
Right. That's right.
Do I think all dealers should have it? I think they're foolish if they don't. Right.
Yes. I agree.
Pretty clear. And you get to do some stuff outside of that too. I mean, I know you're like crazy active in Atlantic City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes the way Matt Blatt does their social. That's what makes it so interesting to me. That was my original question or statement, that it's real life social. It's a combination of taking real life and using technology to really bring it to the people, to really make the local people feel like they're in on it. It's like, okay, this dealership, there's something a little bit, and I don't think they probably put their finger on it, but there's something a little bit different about this dealership. Let's make sure we check into them at least.
No, I mean, Matt and AJ have really become local celebrities.
wondering.
I mean, for real.
I'm sure.
It's and we're just likable.
You probably get a few free shots of that, and
Well, again, that's a
dinner here or
whole,
there.
whole nother story. But
Yeah.
I kind of stay behind the scenes. I'm like the Quentin Tarantino. I'll make little
guest
cameo
appearance.
shots, guest
Yeah.
appearances in my own movie. But I kind of write the
Have
script.
you seen the
and
latest? Have
Love
you
it. Love it. I think that's the movie he was built to make.
Yesterday, I'm like, I don't want to watch
I heard it was
football.
the greatest movie.
It's so. I mean, you're going to want to. It is so well written, and it's weird because I went with my daughter. I went with Jessica, who was not really old enough, obviously, to remember the Manson, the whole thing. It blew her and her husband away, man. And it's I don't want to kill it for people that haven't seen it yet, but I want to go see it again.
Oh,
and it's
absolutely.
gone from
Right.
from all
Well,
our theaters.
My
now
oldest son
already.
and I went to see it. He loves, the Marvel. He's, into that whole world, and he loves it. So
Yeah.
we planned on just him and I going to see it on opening night. So we don't have anybody with us like that. We have to explain what's going on to.
Right.
And we were
That's
like,
good.
literally, we left like little kids just like laughing. Like,
Right.
can you believe that? Like
Right.
we were like,
what's the name of the stupid movie?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
The cars in it were freaking
Just
awesome,
everything.
man.
The characters, Brad Pitt, Leonardo
Pitt
DiCaprio were
was
amazing.
unbelievable.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee was amazing.
Yeah.
Like the whole everything. about the
DiCaprio
movie.
could be the greatest actor of all
Yeah.
time right now.
And Brad Pitt too.
Yeah,
I
man.
give
Yeah,
him
I
credit.
He was
They,
good.
but again, that goes back to what we started to talk about. I kind of stay behind the scenes and let those guys are celebrities. I mean, they're naturals, so that stuff helps. I mean, they're natural actors. They're natural funny.
don't sell yourself short, man. I tell you what, you do a nice job. You're
Well,
very
thank you.
personal. You're very social. You're a really good centerpiece for that group. I
Oh,
think.
shucks, thanks.
Yeah.
I
This
really do, I
is
believe
pretty
that.
funny, but you got to be friends with one of our former employees when she was really young, fresh out of college, Whitney Allman. Yeah,
She worked for you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's how small
Long
this
time
world
ago.
is.
Long time ago.
Wow.
She's
She
certainly.
worked for us.
Yeah, she was
late
as she
90s
is
or-
today, Kobe. She was then.
What are you saying?
I think she's definitely not afraid to put herself out there.
But who's watching?
I don't know. I have no idea.
She's got a rich husband.
He was that guy was
That was a goal for her.
yeah. She was
a
a piece
written
of
goal.
work. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Again,
Very
off the podcast, I'll tell you some stories.
Good.
No, Whitney.
And she
She
married
was
a doctor. or
crazy.
lawyer
Yeah,
or
he's an
something.
eye doctor.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
She was
I didn't know she
always
worked for you guys.
yeah.
Donna Thomas.
full of
Hey,
herself.
Donna. My
Kobe was
my favorite son-in-law's
hysterical
mom's watching.
when she was modeling when she was young.
Model.
She modeled. Yeah, that's how when she first joined us.
Have
She
you
was
ever
going
met
out.
her sister, Margot?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Anyway, that's
How do you
30
guys know
years-
her?
She
Margot?
worked for you.
Yeah. Well, Whitney worked.
Well, how
for
do
us.
you know her? Or so
Just
Atlantic
she's in the
City.
Atlantic City scene.
Oh.
She does a lot of. You guys had a blurb about it, but she is at every occasion. She's there.
Who had a blurb about it?
You and your buddy about.
That was directed at her?
No. I don't know it well.
A lot of people thought that it was directed at there's a bunch of them. There's a whole crew in Atlantic City there. I call them self-anointed celebrities, and they want everything for free everywhere, and they want to be every place, and it's just promoting themselves. Again, self-serving. And, they utilize, and they really have no engagement. It's all about
After that,
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, Atlantic City needs social media.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a flippin' ocean. There's an ocean there.
World-class restaurants, casinos, airport, road system, trains, buses.
It's insane.
And people get on and
I don't get it.
flight and go to Las Vegas, which
Right.
is another shithole.
Right.
Outside the strip. But
Right,
Atlantic
outside the
City has
strip.
So much. We have 90% of the country's population within driving distance of Atlantic City.
Blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. It should be spectacular. My grandfather tells me
It's image,
stories.
right? Is that the?
No, the image is earned.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
2
it's-
streets over from the casino, it's dangerous, man. I mean, it is flat out dangerous. It's nasty. Cash for gold, cash for gold, gas for gold. Pawn shop, liquor store, whorehouse.
There's
it's bad.
I forget the director's name shooting a film, a Netflix film in Atlantic City, a big budget Netflix
Really?
film, and it's a zombie movie. And
Awesome.
he's doing it in the old Hilton Hotel, and he's just casting people off the street as zombies because it's a zombie walk. It's crazy,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah, well, it's not much of a stretch acting-wise for some of those folks. So
Well, I mean,
that's interesting.
the town got taken over by the state, the budget anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've had. I mean, how many mayors indicted for theft and
I think 7 out of the last 8.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's like, I mean, Boardwalk Empire that was on HBO. I mean, like that's like real, like the way Atlantic City was and is. However, my grandfather, deceased, tells me stories about Atlantic City in the old days where I mean you had to dress up on the boardwalk. I mean you had to wear a
You can
suit
still
and tie.
see videos. Yeah,
I mean it was a
it was
big
the
deal.
world's playground.
And
That's
are you,
where-
Right.
outside of your work then with Roy, are you you're trying to change that, right? You're trying to bring.
not anymore?
No, you've.
No, you know what? I realized that I was Don Quixote fighting windmills, and once I got out of the club, actually that was my downfall trying to change Atlantic City. I bought into changing Atlantic City, and I spent a lot of my money and a lot of my time instead of focusing on my business and realizing that it can't save itself. So, I mean, it was literally my downfall.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there's too much graft, right? I mean, there's just too many politicians with in each other, everybody's pocket. Taxes.
I don't know who's listening.
Right. Well, I'll say it. That's what it appears like to me. Because I mean, it's stupid. There's a freaking ocean there. I mean, come on, guys.
There's $800 million that the state takes from Atlantic City in luxury and parking tax. And spreads
$800 million.
a year, then spreads it throughout the rest of the state.
the
Doesn't put
state
back in Atlantic
takes.
City.
Yeah.
That the state
No
takes.
shit.
Then let alone what local takes and the county takes and everything else.
Wow.
Everybody's
I had no
cash
idea.
cow.
It is. It's a cash cow.
Excuse me.
And they just
Wow.
haven't reinvested back into the infrastructure.
Yeah, because right, you would think there'd be enough money to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sitting here in my mind blaming the casinos. Why don't they go into their pockets and clean up 3 blocks of a street? But
They're
there's
struggling.
other. Yeah. Well,
casinos.
now they are.
I would think so with the online
Right.
gaming.
Well, I mean, you can go anywhere.
Anywhere
Now.
now.
You go to
Right.
Philly and bet.
Right.
So I mean,
You can go
you
anywhere
can play
and bet.
cards in Philadelphia now, can't you?
Yeah, I believe
It's
so.
not just slots, right?
No, it's a full casino. And
Yeah.
then you have Mohegan Sun, and, you have,
Right.
and then you have a North Jersey casino coming any day now.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, is that
Yeah,
right?
It's going to be voted on in November.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, by the Mall of America, they're building up by MetLife Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're looking at making that
I
a casino.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Did you say you don't like watching football on Sunday?
No,
That you'd rather watch the movie?
No, yeah. Well, yesterday the Browns because the Browns were
Oh.
playing tonight. So,
The Browns still have a team?
I'll
ladies
do
and
the
gentlemen, the
basketball, you
podcast is over.
Oh, the Cleveland Browns. I didn't know they still had a team.
They're gonna kick the Jets' ass.
Oh,
Tonight.
they're all out they're all injured.
Yeah, we got a few injuries. Though. We got a few guys down. My youngest son texted me this morning. Says I'm going to the Browns game tonight. I said you're going up there tonight. He goes, yeah. I said, where the frick? I'm paying you too much. Where did you get money for tickets?
They have very loyal fans, I will say that. Browns
Jets?
Fans, no, the Browns.
Oh,
They live-
Browns
Jets
fans are
too. They live and die with them. And they've
Browns
been dying
fans
a lot.
are insane.
I mean, that you'd still root for the Browns after all those years of
Yeah.
losing.
You know, when the Cavs came back from the 3-1 thing and beat the Warriors in what was that 2016, I think. There were literally 1 million people downtown celebrating, and it was massive. It was insane. They say that they'll have to rebuild the city of Cleveland if the Browns ever win the
Browns ever
Super
win.
Bowl. That it would be that bad. It would be absolutely torn down. There'd be 3-4 million people there
Yeah, I
from
know.
all over.
I don't know how much you have to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I
for
mean,
a while.
Baker Mayfield.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. They got names out the
Yeah.
ass. It's just they got to get. I mean, they got to. It was embarrassing last week.
Oh, I know.
Embarrassing. It was horrible.
We'll see what happens tonight. The Jets, and it's
Yeah.
the battle of the bottom.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Browns. Well, I'm not even going to say it, man. My family is so we're like so superstitious. We all agree to sit in the same chair watching the games every week. I mean, it's funny. My 4 kids. It's like we just.
That is funny.
Oh God, it's endless, man. It's insane the way we do stuff like that.
Did Ernie leave us?
He's taking a piss.
Okay. So where are we going from here? We're kind of winding down.
Yeah. Yeah. nowhere really. I'm just, and I don't know how far you want to get into this, but I wanted to kind of wrap up with something like this, if you want to. And you've been an owner. If you had everything to do all over again, and somebody approached you, an OEM approached you, or however it happened, and you had the opportunity yourself, or the Greenblatts came to you and said, "Hey, you know what, dude? We want to buy another store, but it's going to be yours, and here's X amount of dollars, and you come up with how it's done." What would that look like, Coby? What would literally the culture look like? How would your dealership be? You call all the shots.
That's a
you
great
answer
question.
to nobody.
I mean, that's a great. Whether it would be successful or not, I don't know. In my mind, I mean, this is going to go out there on a limb. I kind of like we talked about all the struggles in the car business. Getting rid of those struggles. What I'd envision is, more like how do I put this? Like a pod system. So rather than have salespeople that you're overpaying for the job they're doing now, salespeople are going to get mad at me for saying this, but have super technical product presenters that present themselves well, call them Starbucks employees that, aren't really in it for the money, are in it for the technology, and they're nice to people, and they do demos, and, they know how to pair your Android to the navigation and Bluetooth and everything else. And then you have, let's say, 4 in a pod with 1 closer. That's your super salesman that makes 120, 150 a year, capabilities of making more. And he's got 4 people in the pod making 35, 40,000 with like step bonuses,
Right.
But they've got great hours. They can come and go. They can work 35 hours a week, great benefits, and
Right.
it's just like a college job. And they turn it over to that closer. That closer comes in, says, would you like numbers for today or would you like numbers to shop with? Here it is, and you have 4 pods in the store. And you hope that one of the pod members says, hey, I like what that manager's doing, I want to become a manager, and he becomes your superstar again. And now you start another pod. But we don't put so much on the salespeople, because at this point, like at least in our store, the managers are doing a lot of the work.
Yes.
The salespeople are presenting the product, and then they're saying, hey, can you come in and talk to my customer?
Right.
We don't, I do a lot of training.
Right.
I do strictly social media. I mean, it would be 100%, or you probably wouldn't work for me. I mean, we'd like to think we're that way
Right.
now, but
Right.
we're not.
Right.
I mean, we have guys that
Right.
don't do what they're supposed to do.
Right, of course, we all do. So, but in your store, it would be this isn't up for debate.
Right. It would be,
To get hired, this is what you're going to have to do. And if you
and
fall
again,
off,
I
you're
realize
out.
there's different personalities, but that's the personality I want. The person that wants to,
Right.
connect with their customer. And,
Right.
and I always say to our salespeople, let me step back a little. If you have a better way, if you like the hammer and chisel, show me how you're doing it, and I'll
Yeah.
leave you alone.
There you go.
But I'm not going to
That's
just
fair.
sit and watch you sit there looking at the fishbowl
Right.
going,
And
the
bitching.
advertising sucks. I didn't get any ups today. I'm not making any money. The salesman skated me.
Yep.
The manager doesn't like me.
Yep.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want to prospect the old way and smile and dial and lick envelopes and hand out flyers at the dry cleaner, be
Right.
my guess.
Right. If it's
but
working,
do it.
Right. Yeah, but do it. Yeah,
Do it
don't
every
bullshit about
day,
it. Right.
over and over and over and over again.
Right.
Or get on social media, get on the power tool.
Right. Yeah. Good point. And then to take that one step further, because I firmly believe, and I think this has been proven over and over and over and over and over again. If your internal customers, your employees, your team, if they're happy, if they're fulfilled, if they're bought in 100%, you really have to be less concerned about your external customers, your leads, your ups. They're just going to naturally get taken care of because your culture is cool. And that needs to, in my opinion, needs to go from the front to the back. I think there's such a strong line of demarcation between the so-called front end of the dealership and the back end. The difference between variable ops and fixed ops. It's in my opinion, it's getting critical. There will be a contraction of some sort at some point in time. There's no question about it. It's not now, but it's going to happen. And if you suck in service, you're screwed.
Oh, without a doubt.
So I don't understand really why. No, I mean I do understand because most owners and managers start in sales, so that's I think the real why. But man, if you could start a dealership, Coby, where you had what you exactly just said, if that could also take place back in service, I love called it a pod idea. I love that concept. If you could have 3 techs, 4 techs with their own advisor or scheduler or whatever you want to call him or her, doesn't matter, and in teams, if you will, in the service department, I think that's brilliant. I think the engagement would be better. I think you'd have and again, you bring, because text, man, I mean, it's a critical stage. I mean, we deal with it constantly, and we're really super good at it. But what's happening is these master techs and level techs are saying, screw this stuff, man. I'm going to open my own shop. Right. So they're leaving.
Or other industries. Or go to other industries.
Or other industries that pay, they go to work for an airline and make $1 bazillion a year. But there's nothing feeding that lower pipeline now, or there's less people getting into the trades.
Well, yeah, that's everywhere. Carpentry, plumber. I say, a plumber today going to school, becoming an apprentice, you're going to be the next millionaires. Because somebody still needs the plumbing. Somebody still needs it. Nobody's willing
Alex
to do it.
wants to get into that.
Yeah, it's huge.
Atlantic County,
he's changing his whole concept.
Try calling getting a handyman to show up at your house in Atlantic County.
Impossible.
I mean, it's.
We call it the South Jersey attitude.
It's unbelievable.
I have a friend. He's a high level executive at Harrah's, and he wanted to put fireplaces in his house, redo some trim work, everything. Of course, gave the guy half up front, had a timeline, had a schedule, and he's running against his timeline. He goes, dude, I need this done. My house is a mess. It's a shithole. You haven't done. And the guy's like, oh, I was planning on working real late, to get it done for you to, finish this week. And he goes, you're planning, what do you mean? I'm going to work till like 5 every single day. And he goes, 5? He goes, you better be here 24 hours a day to get this. So the guy finishes his job again, let's say a month late, wants to get paid. So my friend goes, you're going to get paid the same way you finish the job. I'm not paying you. He goes, I need the money. He goes, no, you need the money for another job. You're going to use my money to take somebody else's money, and now I'm not paying you.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay you the same way you thought my job was important. When you got the job, it was super important.
Yeah, good.
But we call it the 609 attitude.
It's no bullshit, right? I mean, it's unusual, man. It's crazy down there.
It really is. Nobody wants to work.
No. So I say take your idea, put it right into the service department, man, and bring those kids. Hire those lube techs or whatever. Bring them, get them out of school. Mm-hmm. Let's get them trained. Pay for their tools. Pay for their training. Because if you're not operating at least 100% service absorption, dealers, you better find a way to get there, or you're going to be in trouble here in the next year.
Is that a big struggle with you guys?
Nah.
It's been.
Yeah, I mean, knock wood, our services.
Yeah, that's good.
We've got great chocolate chip cookies if you're in the area, stop by.
Awesome.
Nice waiting area, home-baked chocolate chip. We have an oven there. They bake chocolate chip cookies, everything.
That's cool. A nice touch.
Yeah.
Good coffee?
You smell coffee's great.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookies are ridiculous. I literally have customers text me and go, hey, they're fresh chocolate chip cookies.
Done,
do you remember Kensington used to do that?
Kensington Furniture?
The furniture place. On Saturdays, they'd have they must have done them there or had them delivered from a local bakery like right now because they were freaking delicious. And I went in there and would just, fake looking for furniture.
Looking for a couch.
Right. Yeah. Have half a dozen, put a couple in my pockets and walk out.
So would you have how many managers would you have overseeing that?
What do you mean? The sales side?
Well,
it depends on your business. You
keep growing. A law of diminishing return would kick in there, I would think, because you could extend your hours.
Is what I was thinking.
I mean, you'd cut your
that's what I was thinking.
Compensation as a dealer. You'd cut your compensation by millions.
Right. And actually, you could extend your hours. You could be open 18 hours a freaking day. Just have different groups of different pods with their managers or whatever you call them come in.
And the manager would do the brunt of the closing and the work and sign them up right at the desk, finance, everything right then and there.
Yeah.
And they'd be the strong closer and they'd be paid the lion's share.
Right.
And then you have people, maybe you'd attract that are afraid of that stigma because they don't have a salary. You get a sharp kid that's, for $40,000 out of college that, okay, I'm going to be a product presenter. And then he goes, wait a second, that guy's making 120. I want his job.
Right.
And then
And give them a clear career path to get there,
Right.
which is really critical.
I think that's
critical.
the future.
I like it.
How diverse do you feel your dealerships are in terms of male, female, people of color, so on and so forth?
I don't think we have a lot of control over it. It's, we have to hire who's willing to come work for us.
Yeah.
I still see the car business as, a boys' club.
Yeah.
I think at some point that's going to change. I really do. I think women are going to get into the industry.
So they do well.
I
There's
think
a ton of success stories,
I
man.
just
They do well.
I think it's going to change.
I hope so.
I think it's going to change.
I've told this story a million times, not a million times. I've told this story 10 times, but I've never mentioned the name because no one will be able to relate to it. But Brad Pogachevsky called me.
I know Brad.
Yeah. And this is, I don't know, probably 4 years ago now. And he was all freaked out. It was a Saturday. And he said, Craig, I need you to come down here right now. We're not selling enough cars. We're giving them the cars we're selling. We're giving them away. It's all, third generation repeat customers, and I'm blah 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 blah. He was a wreck. I said, dude, it's a Saturday. Yeah, I said, I don't work Saturdays anymore, pal. I love you, but it's like, no, come on, Craig. I said, oh, dude. Because I live 5 minutes from the store when they owned the Nissan store. I said, dude, jeans and a T-shirt. So, I don't care. Just come on in and just come in my office, when you come in. So it's a Saturday. And they were swamped. I mean, I got to look for a place to park. I park and I sit in my car. I get out of my car. I'm looking around. And I don't know, got to be 10, 12 ups on the lot with salespeople. I walk in the showroom. He comes flying out. Come on, let's go. I said, no, hold on a minute. I think I'm onto something here. Showroom's packed. I don't know, 8 or 10 salespeople with customers inside. So, the place is packed. I said, I want Brad, just take a look around here for a minute. What am I looking at? I said, just take a deep in breath for a minute. Relax. We're going to solve your problem here in 10 minutes. I don't even have to come into your office. So he lasted about 3 minutes. All right, what's up? I said, I have $200 on me right now. I bet you $200 that you cannot point out either outside your building or in your showroom one 35 to 55-year-old white guy. I'll bet you $200 you do not have a customer in or outside your building that's a white 35 to 55-year-old male. Now, I'd already checked it out, or I wouldn't have made the bet. But so what are you talking about? I said, hear what I just said, and then look. Dude, you've got your salesman. You have one African-American salesman that I trained when I ran Chapman 25 years ago that was in the wash bay. I said, that's everyone else is 30 to 60-year-old white guys. I said, you don't have one of those people on your lot. Your customer, we're in Atlantic City, New Jersey, one of the most diverse places in the freaking world. I said, I'll do a recruiting campaign. We'll get you some women. We'll get you some people of color. You got to mix this thing up a little bit, dude. I said, there's your business. If you want another $100,000 a month gross, I just give it to you. No charge. I'm going home. See ya. I'll have the office call to set up the recruitment deal. But it's in my opinion, obviously a strong opinion, that we need to be more diverse. At least as diverse as your community is, and with women especially. The statistical data, we could go on and on and on and on, just how they make decisions, the decision maker, the researcher, and yada, 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 yada. Man, I'll tell you what. If I'm running a store right now, at least half my sales force is going to be
Listen,
female.
If we had 12 Suzettes in each store,
There you go.
it's a different world.
Right.
Yeah, man.
That's
Is she difficult at times? Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
You
top,
know,
top
but
performers
that's
all
just-
are.
But that's just her. Yeah. I mean, but she works. I mean, she's a straight up savage. She's a beast. I mean, she's competitive. She's compassionate. She's passionate about the product. Everything she sells, she has for herself. I mean, she's the real deal. I wish I had 12 of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
It made my life so easy.
If you're a potential Suzette, reach out to Coby, get a hold of him.
Anybody.
Your pod system would help perhaps attract that diversity.
Oh, no question.
I think it
Oh,
would.
that's a no-brainer.
Because everybody says I'm worried about commission being a commission
right,
only.
right. In the hours.
Listen, I always said any job you're on. If you're a secretary, you're on commission. If
Yeah.
the store, if you're not making money, if the store's
Right.
not you're
You're
going to
gone.
get your job's eliminated.
Right.
A good salesperson, especially today, never has the best job security in the world.
Right.
It's
Right.
the best job in the world today
Right.
is to be a car salesman.
Right. Well, like you said, and it's so funny you went there with the prairie, whatever example we gave. When we train new salespeople, one of the things we say after your training, put us up in an airplane, give us a parachute and a cell phone, drop us anywhere in the continental United States of America, and you got a job within hours. You got a job selling cars, making $100,000 a year or better, if you do the right thing.
Exactly.
If you're
It's-
properly
you work.
trained. If
Like
you
Gary
work.
Vee always says, it's hard work. Put in the work.
right, yeah.
There's no hacks. There's, all these guys, we see them all. I'm not going to trash anybody, but they all have their
Constant.
hacks. And this quick way and that way and do this. And you know what? Just work. Just go to work,
Right, man.
which is what I have to do now. How's that
All right.
segue?
That's good.
Figure as much.
Hey, plug away here. How do people get a hold of you if they want to?
Facebook, Instagram, Coby Frier.
Spell it FR.
COBYFRIER. Through any of Matt Blatt's pages. But again, direct message me. You can call me 609-706-2101. Leave a message. I'll text you back. I'll call you back.
Yeah, there you go.
We're always looking for good salespeople.
Right. In the dealerships, the names and where
Matt
they're
Blatt
located.
Kia of Toms River, Matt Blatt Kia in Egg Harbor Township, Matt Blatt Mitsubishi in Glassboro. All strong stores, all salesmen. I mean, if I was a salesperson, forget every other store. I mean, honestly, not just because I work there, that's where I'd want to work. It's just a great culture.
You could have, as a salesperson, I'll just add it. You would have a lifelong opportunity. You would never want to go to another organization. You'll be treated professionally. Demands will be made. There's expectations, as you can tell. At the same time, though, the reward for doing what you're supposed to do in an environment that you're comfortable in, you won't have any problem ever bringing a customer to your dealership. Phenomenal. I really can only say so many great
Thank you.
things about
Yeah,
it.
we got.
I'm so happy.
It's a great organization. And
Thank you.
the people that we've known, and now it's really awesome getting to meet you face to
thank
face
you.
in real life. That's really cool. But folks, whether you're looking to buy a vehicle or looking for a great place to work, reach out to these folks. They're the real deal. We mentioned it early on. I'll end with this. Got to do a podcast. You do.
I know. It's
do, man.
one of the things we keep talking about. It's just time constraints,
Yeah.
but we know we got to get
Yeah,
on it.
you're natural at it. It'd be freaking awesome for your business. It really would be. It really would be. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you
coming
for having
in,
me.
man.
Like I said,
appreciate it.
this
Thank
ran
you.
great.
Thank
you.
you.
Hopefully I was a good guest.
You're a great
Hopefully I'll be
guest.
invited back someday.
Absolutely.
And check out Matt Blatt Kia and Matt Blatt Mitsubishi and Toms River.
There we go. Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, Coop. What's yours?